Hello everyone, welcome to What If DxD-verse reacts to different versions of Issei Part 2. Before we start, please go support EventXX for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. You guys will hear a person referred as me in the story, that's the author of this story. Now let's begin. Villains. The supernatural beings were still intrigued as to what outcome the fight between Issei and Nikola Tesla will have. Okay, let's get started with this, I said calmly. Azazel. Now what will we see? I asked calmly. We'll see, villains, so you'll be surprised. Gabriel. Why do we have to see those sinners? She asked, slightly annoyed. Because I want to, because I can, and because I win the vote so they look at me weird. Should I whispered. Let's start, I said to turn on the screen. On screen. Ollie. The world is cruel. Cruch. And I must change it. Issei. If there's one thing I'm clear about. Bali Cruch Issei-verso. I was born to be evil. Off screen. The fallen angels were surprised more than anything to see the white emperor dragon and the possible red emperor dragon being evil. They were not surprised to see Cruch and Issei. In fact, no faction was surprised to see them, they already knew them. It seems that they forgot what I said about Issei, but well, what can you do about them? The angels and fallen must have chicken brains. Well, the other factions thought it entered one ear and came out the other, I thought, looking at them, and let out a sigh. On screen. Ollie. People, their anger is caused by my lies. Cruch. We play with lives until we take away their smiles. Issei. I the cause of your destruction. Issei. The one everyone sees as a god. Bali Cruch Issei-verso. I won't stop if I still feel some evil inside me. Off screen. The demons had a slight headache when they heard the word God, while some looked with interest at those who appeared, especially the bad guys of the supernatural. On screen. Ollie. In this world where there is light, shadows always appear. The sacred gear knows this very well. If you feel pain, it means you are still alive and Kua will be dead. Off screen. The demons and angels looked seriously at the albino, who looked slightly interested in his counterpart. Michael. Who do you think you are to do that? I ask angrily. Ollie. Don't you see him? Obviously a villain, otherwise, why would he appear otherwise? I ask mockingly, making Michael look away. Take it, Angela Cloth, I said, so that laughter could be heard in the distance. On screen. Ollie. I carry vengeance marked on my grave, Lucifer, with courage, perhaps you will never tell it again, look at the moon and you will remain motionless, sleep forever. Infinite dream, Tsukuyomi. Off screen. Riaz. Wait, are you a descendant of Lucifer? She asked, looking at the albino silver. Serziches. That's a lie, right, Azazel? He asked nervously that the boy was going to start a fight for the title of Mao Lucifer. Although technically the title and position rightfully belongs to Vali, I thought calmly. Ollie. Calm down, walking menstruation, I'm not interested in the title or position, so that Serziches gets a red flag for how I call him, but I sigh, and besides, I wouldn't let the demonic council use me as a puppet so that Serziches can get serious now. Serziches. What are you implying? He asked seriously. Ollie. Oh, nothing, he said with an amused smile, just that having the title of Mao Lucifer you think that no one would conspire against you, that position made you stupid. I expected more from a super demon like you to see the screen. Well, Serziches clicked his mouth. On screen. Cruch. Hearing my name is feeling terror, everyone already knows who I am, what happened to your faction? I extinguished it, don't ask about my past, now I have evolved, and you are so terrified. Off screen. Azazel. It can't be, he said, surprised. Michael. This has to be a joke, just like his fallen brother. Asia. Who is he? The blonde girl asked curiously, being ignored. Why are you ignoring me? What did I do to you? With comical tears. On screen. Cruch. Before the emperor, knock knock, they knock at your door, and who will it be? It's my army, back to war, wanting more, add and continue, even the fallen have proven it, crucifixion haunts Los Angeles, I control infinity, Jojo Crumb Cruch. Off screen. While the supernatural beings were watching the screen, Gabriel was doing something else. Gabriel's mind. The place was dark, while Gabriel was seen walking calmly until everything dark became a meadow on fire. Gabriel. What's going on? Why is everything on fire? He asked, exclaimed in fear, looking around. If that were not enough, large crosses began to rise to Gabriel's terror as he saw many crucified angels with what appeared to be angel wings on the ground, a sign that they had been torn off. Gabriel. This has to be a lie, of course it is, he tried to convince himself. As if that were not enough, after seeing the crucified angels, he felt the need to turn around only for his gaze to reflect terror. On the ground were the bodies of his brothers, Raphael who apparently was decapitated, Uriel who was split in half, while all his organs stained the ground and blood seemed to create a river that approached Gabriel and especially Michael. Gabriel quickly approached and crouched in front of his brother to be grabbed by him. Michael the first, you could have been saved as blood fell from his mouth, why didn't you do more? So that his eyes lose their shine. Gabriel. Ani-sama. Ani-sama, stop playing and wake up please as tears fell from his eyes. Liar, liar, you promised that you would always be with me, wake up please. No, as more tears fell and everything went black. Out of Gabriel's mind. Gabriel let out a scream, catching the attention of Michael and acquaintances who approached to try to calm her down, while the demons looked at her with confusion upon seeing her reaction and wondering why she became like that. On screen. Bali. If there is one thing I am clear about. Bali Issei-verso. I was born to be evil. Bali. People, their anger is caused by my lies. Cruch. We play with lives until we take away their smiles. Issei. I the cause of your destruction. Verso. The one everyone sees as a god. Bali Issei-verso. I won't stop if I still feel some evil inside me. Off screen. Dibba. What a good chorus, said the knight of the Gremory entourage. Riser. My friend, your mouth is stuck with reason, while high-fiving the boy. Meanwhile the Riser nobility was slightly ashamed of their king's behavior and would not admit it, but their king was right. On screen. Issei. Representative of the clan, I have returned to do harm, I will fulfill my revenge after 3,000 years of confinement, they will know who I am, kneel down, and admire the power of the prince. Off screen. Azazel. Prince? He asked looking at me. In that universe Issei is not half fallen, but an elite demon, as the rap says, a prince of the demon clan, the second son of the demon king. I said pure nonsense, I'm sleepy. Surziches? Whose business is that for? That was what came out of the mouth of the Crimson Mau being beaten by his wife and mother. Brafia Venelana. Behave yourself, you are a Mau, they said in a scolding tone. On screen. Issei. My evil is emerging, you will be a sin, you sinned too much, I am the captain of darkness, and Dulio I will not have mercy. Off screen. Dulio. Jojo, this will be interesting, with a relaxed smile, but challenging tone. Gabriel, now recovered, let out a sigh upon seeing the reaction of the strongest exorcist, while Michael let out a laugh upon seeing the reaction of his friend and companion. On screen. Verso. Let's leave emotions and talk about reality, that smile, it's ideal, it has been destroyed, if your sacred gear interests me, I will make it my property, 3, 2, 1 your sacred gear is now mine, and mine will be this world devoid of color. Off screen. The features suddenly became serious, seeing the descendant of the original Lucifer, while the seraphim had an expressionless face. Azazel. I think we lost them, snaps his fingers in front of Michael. Seraphil. Wait, I've always wanted to do this, to surround her leg with ice and kick Michael. On screen. Verso. Peace has been cut with ties of terror, my legacy will continue alongside the Cows Brigade, tremble, before the descendant of the original Lucifer. Ali. The world is cruel. Cruch. And I must change it. Issei. If there's one thing I'm clear about. Bali Issei-verso. I was born to be evil. Bali. People, their anger is caused by my lies. Cruch. We play with lives until we take away their smiles. Issei. I the cause of your destruction. Verso. The one everyone sees as a god. Bali Issei-verso. I won't stop if I still feel some evil inside me. Screen turns off. Nobody said anything, everything was silent, then his napkin decided to speak. Well, that was all, goodbye, I said to leaving them in the same place. Upper Moon 2. Irerna equals Shinobu, Zenobia equals Canny. The supernatural beings were doing unimportant things after witnessing 4 of their world acting like villains, although some already were. Azazel. What's up with you? And that orb? He asked looking at me. This. It's just one of my favorite Issei, which we will also see now while throwing the orb into the air. Riaz. I have it as the Orna almost fell into her hands, I don't have it, discouraged. Brafia. I'm sorry Riaz Oju-sama, but I have it, while showing the orb in her hand. Well, let's stop chatting, let's get started, Pam to hit Surziches. Surziches? What happened, bro? And that staple blow. With slight pain. Let's start, I said for the screen to turn on. On screen. Issei. Tudo comico quando uira tão novo, despiquino me botaram podio, u deveria escutar vocales além do corpo, pois afinal tinha many cores nos miolhos. It all started when I was so little, since I was little they put me in a podium, I should hear voices beyond the body, because in the end I had so many colors in my eyes. Off screen. Those interested in the hybrid squealed upon seeing little Issei, as did Gabriel and Irina, although something that surprised Gabriel was that he couldn't see the colors in Issei's heart. Meanwhile the she-devils looked at little Issei with slight tenderness, while Leisha looked at little Issei with a blush. Oh damn, Leisha is a Shadakona, meh, she's a devil, I can expect it, I thought, downplaying it to see the others. Irina. What beautiful eyes that version of Haidu-san has with a sparkle in hers. Gabriel. You're right, Irina-san, and he's also quite cute, letting out another squeal as she imagines playing with the infant Issei. On screen. Eyes. But I want, and with my beautiful eyes I saw that simple attack. Off screen. The supernaturals were taken aback and slight concern formed in the hearts of the fallen Mickey's friends. Then Alana. Ice-chan will be okay, right? Right. She raised her voice with concern. Lady Citri. Calm down, Venilana, we're talking about Issei, if he's as tough as his mother, he'll be fine, to hug her friend who calmed down. Although of course, with said hug the breasts of the two mature women stuck together, making them stand out under the perverted gaze of Mitsuma and Motohama, although only a lance of water and crimson energy was enough to scare them. Lord Zeoticus. Don't even think about it seriously. On screen. Issei. Mami mata o papai, logo de poisi mata, entau vegemo que ses dois fizeram sugerum de sango chao, que noho, quemi que vi limper essa merda. Es cherami incomoda e apodris es alau. Mom, he killed Dad, and then he killed himself, then look what you did, you dirty the floor with blood, how disgusting, who is going to clean this shit? This smell makes me uncomfortable and rots this room. Off screen. Mickey's friends were shocked to see her kill her husband and then commit suicide, but they were even more shocked to see how Issei reacted to that scene, although they were not the only ones, while the other supernaturals were only surprised at how he reacted to the death of his parents. Seraphol. Why did he react like that? I asked with slight fear at the hybrid's lack of reaction. I honestly don't know, I never understood that part, I said, shrugging my shoulders. People, if you know, would you please explain? Kiba. I didn't expect that from the president's ex-boyfriend, with surprise. Kaneko. But I didn't expect anything, so it doesn't count, unfazed. On screen. Issei. I adore feeding myself with these faithful followers, entau eight na mord me devidum louvers, quando alu rise, see together o ascend donoit, Issei appears pois as suno banquet to hoj. I adore feeding on these faithful followers, so even death devour praises, when the moon rises see the night rise, Issei appears because today's banquet is ready. Some supernaturals had green faces and others were neutral, while Azazel said. Azazel? Why are they like that? I mean, it's not very different from the Issei ghoul that we saw a while ago, I asked, looking at the beings as if they were stupid. Oh wait, some are, I thought, seeing the demon elders and fallen ones, along with the Himajima clan which was hidden. Surziches. I guess some of you forgot looking at his sister who was green. On screen. O arco iris no muolher, faz ado inferno freeze, saber obril ho duluer si hides talisay, ha ha el viti pega, tem hashira par kummer, tem uida people to eat, now 80 anticori, pois now vu dixer para de pois, com obril ho dalua, k, a creature appears, Issei olu a superior voice. The rainbow of my gaze makes even hell freeze, and in the brightness of the moon, a certain Issei is hiding, ha ha ha, he is going to catch you, and there is Hashira to eat, there are many people to eat, and there is no point in running, because I am not going to leave for later, with the brightness of the moon a creature appears, Issei the upper moon too. Off screen. The angels trembled as they watched Issei hunt humans and kill them without any mercy, but the most affected was Gabriel, as he saw how little Issei was nothing more than a memory, and now he is just a demon, hungry. What hurt him the most was knowing that no matter who it was, he would kill without hesitation. Sona. Haidu-san is a monster, she said, trembling. Surziches. No, Issei-kun is a real demon, not even the ancient mass or their descendants acted that way, he said seriously. Rainer. Something tells me that it would be best if none of us get close to that version of Issei-kun, she said, while looking at her fallen companions. Mitlet. I agree with you, Rainer, while looking at the screen. On screen. Issei. Entau sehem uito bem vinda, tell me what you're doing here. Entau continue, throw away my life. Will that be what I'm going to get? I said that none of the type of life matters, pois at the end of the day, for a terra semper volta, entau Hashira, with me we see thinking, why is your Tristina? Si algamu devour so Hashira, come and think with me, why are you so sad? If I devour someone. Off screen. Leisha. I don't know why, but that Ice-chan variant is really turning me on while moving in place under everyone's gaze. Surziches. How strange your family is, Ajuka, he said to his best friend. Ajuka. Well, let's not talk about weird families when yours betroths their daughter to anyone who is stronger than her or beats the current fiancé to leave his friend in jail. Seraphol. Apparently my family is the most normal, calmly. Azazel. Yes, of course, normal, if you consider it normal that they beat their daughter in chess. It was already the case that the girl died single, so that Serafol gets a streak. On screen. Issei. Since very long I have given up everything I want, in the end I am superior in appearance and criteria, following my will in everything that I do. How do I live in an eternal paradise? Have I lost Irmazinha? Mas que historia tout reist, raise your head and continue your life, Foda si moru, ve her positive side. From very early on I have everything I want, in the end I am superior in appearance and criteria, following my will in everything I do, as if I were in an eternal paradise. So you lost your little sister. But what a sad story, lift your head and move on with your life, screw you if he died, look on the bright side. Off screen. Gabriel. What's positive about losing a sister? She asked angrily. Michael. Calm down Gabriel, or you might fall, he said to his sister in a serious tone. Gabriel. Hi Oni-sama, he said reluctantly. Azazel. He has twisted morals, he said seriously, receiving a nod from Ajuka and Michael, and a sneeze was heard in the background. Cheers, I said out loud as a thank you was heard. No, which thank you? Get naked, I thought, annoyed. On screen. Issei. Different 2 out Raz, CT ma farewell, and Tao go to the top, ha 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 ha, vu DxD attack me, circa, let's see where I can get Chigar, Tao pequina na, bo borlatina. Different, you had a farewell from the others, so come face to face, ha 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 ha, I'm going to let you attack me, circa, let's see how far you can go, so small, na mama little butterfly. Off screen. Rias. Well, seeing it like that I didn't know how to say it. The Keno. If it's positive, she said what Rias didn't. Murayama. I hate to say it, but you're right, sighing. Surziches. RSA won't become like that, right? I asked worriedly. Luckily for him, no, he won't become like that, causing a sigh of relief from the biblical factions, unless I intervene and make him like that, I thought with a smile. On screen. Issei. Do you want to poison me? It's beautiful and beautiful, but Hashira is thrown out of its place. It doesn't matter that this poison is not capable of defeating me, and Tao implore Palavita, as soon as it becomes Minha, Chegu Bem Nahora, Pequina Masinha. Do you want to poison me? So bold and beautiful, but Hashira, put yourself in your place, no matter what you do, that poisonous shit is not able to defeat me, so beg for life will you become mine, you came in time, little girl. Off screen. Rias was scared to see how he absorbed a girl as if it was nothing, and that he didn't even know her. If it were her, she doesn't want to even imagine what it would be like. Let's show him to see what. Rias closes her eyes. In Ria's mind. Rias could be seen walking through a dark place, while drops of water could be heard echoing. Rias. Where am I? I asked nothing. As she continued walking, a feminine scream of pain began to be heard. Rias began to run in the direction of the scream, only to see a trail of blood and, to her surprise, to see herself being the one crawling without a leg. Ria's illusion. Help, please someone help me, she spoke loudly as tears fell from her eyes, and she continued to crawl. Rias, out of pure reflex, approached the illusion only for it to disappear and the environment to change to the school hallways and Issei's voice to begin to be heard. Issei, talk, where are you? He asked in the air mockingly. He called all the classrooms. I don't ask for permission, although I am polite with grace. I already know where you are. I have a place left. While approaching a closet that was in the classroom. Here you are to break the closet and pull Rias, who began to crawl again. Rias, please Issei, I beg you, let me go, while crying again. Issei, let me think about it, while Rias looked at him hopefully, of course. While Rias smiled no, he shouted with a big smile while he tore off her other leg, and Rias screamed while tears kept coming out. It's the advantage of being a demon, you resist more than humans to these wounds. He gracefully began to bite the torn off leg. Rias watched in horror at what Issei was doing, only for the scene to change again, now looking like an abandoned and destroyed church, now seeing herself chained as Issei approached her. Issei, you know. Despite how you are. You still have a killer body, let's take advantage of it, while tearing off Ria's clothes. Ria's with dead eyes she said, okay, do whatever you want with me, with a dead voice. After the question asked by Issei, Rias said. Ria's kill me, I beg you, I'd rather die than have to do this, looking at him with hatred. Issei, well, don't say I'm trying to be merciful, sighing. Issei approached her to tear off her arms, only now Rias didn't show an emotion or anything. Ria's you wretch, didn't you say you'd kill me? I asked with pain and hate. Issei, of course I said it, but I didn't say how, besides, I need to eat, right? With a fanged smile. After a while, Rias was now seen without her arms and the lower half of her torso, while Rias tried her best to stay conscious. Issei, any last words? He asked with his needle-shaped hand. Rias, I'm really sorry, Haidu Issei, I'm sorry for what I did, with pain in her voice. Issei hugs Ria's. I forgive you Ria's Gremory, if it is any consolation, neither your nobility nor your family will pay for what you did, die, and may your soul find eternal rest to decapitate Ria's. Issei saw Ria's head roll on the floor with her eyes closed and a happy smile on her face, while a jet of blood came out in abundance from the cut. Ria's opened her eyes in horror as she looked around her surroundings encountering the aforementioned. You are free to keep the one you think is best or the one you like the most. Ria's was breathing heavily as tears fell from her eyes, and her family and friends tried to calm her down, which didn't work, and the others tried not to see that, although the girls who make up the Leisha team smiled at seeing Ria's Gremory like that. On screen. Issei. Minute, I felt that he is not here, my great friend Vali, my friend Oni, live this life without your voice, will it be that you will get? But how did I say that I don't need you there, si vi sura therake vi more it seems to be a bit strong, quemliga. Afanal vos now will conquer mort. 1 minute, I felt that he is no longer here, my great friend Vali, my friend Oni, will I be able to live this life without you? But as you said I don't give a damn, you are going to be someone else he's going to die, but you seem a little strong, who cares? In the end you won't win over death. Vali. Am I friends with that guy? I asked curiously. No, you are not his friend, your relationship is based on your hatred towards Issei, while on Issei's part, it is more mockery than anything else I said to see what Vali sighed in relief. Iku. And why does Vali hate that boy? Asked a descendant of Son Goku. Vali felt a deep hatred for Issei, and they had a very bad relationship, although Issei considered himself Vali's friend, Vali only showed interest in the Upper Moon one, and Issei used to question him for never showing concern for him. Vali was never able to show respect towards Issei, and was annoyed that he tried to show friendly attitudes, apparently. The enmity between the two was due to Vali wanting to have a higher rank than 3, due to this, Leisha recommended him to fight to the death with Issei, however, he boasted of the fact that Vali, despite becoming a devil first, was weaker than him, and there was no way he could beat him. Michael. You're basically telling us that Vali would be capable of killing Issei, as long as he had a higher rank sighing. With a depressed aura I say yes, that is a very good summary to make some people laugh. Zeoticus. But there's still more to come, right? So he nods. Issei remembers Vali after his death. When Vali passed away, Issei was indifferent, despite being able to sense that Vali had become someone different as he died. While facing Iruna Shidu, he remembered that his partner never ate women, and for that reason, he was destined to die and be weak. Riaz trembled again as she remembered what Issei did to her in that illusion, apparently seeing that caused her trauma. While still remembering his partner, he began to cry claiming that he had lost his best friend. Sona witnessed his actions and mentioned to him that he was never worried about his friend since he was not even capable of showing real emotions. On screen. Issei. Javali Kanheko Esu Rasto, Achoke Memita Algam Gasto, Membre Umamoka a few years ago, and E Poriso Usei Ko taste was too much, and Taus Ibake, Pequeno Javali, Suame Moru for me, Vosas Dois now Vau Mace future, in the end, everyone knows that Os Mace Forte Sao Os Honest. Or I know that face, I think I'll be afraid of a taste, I reminded myself, a woman a few years ago, and it's because I know that the taste was too good, then you know that little wild boar, your mother died for me, you are not going to escape anymore, in the end everyone knows that the strongest are the honest. Off screen. Then Alana. That means that as a smile appeared on her face. Vicky's friends. We are grandmothers they squealed in excitement. Lady Citri. Let's see, our daughters, how's it that my foster son made me a grandmother before you? In a sweet tone. Sona. I'm still young was the first thing she said. Serafol. I have a job in my program she said with a smile. Lady Citri. I understand Sona, but you Serafol. You always escape from your position as Mayu, and your program always takes a long time to release a new episode, don't come to me with lies Serafol, while her older daughter looked away. Then Alana. I already have another one to spoil with a smile. On screen. I make copies, and they have the same force as mine, you will never kill me, like the petals of falling lotus flowers, there is no such thing as hell, only my frozen hell, changing the weather like the appearance of a frozen Buddha, I have something wronger that Eliphaz. Don't tell me that planted you Isso from a first time. I make copies, and they have the same strength as mine, they will never kill me with the fallen lotus petals, there is no heaven or hell, just frozen hell, changing the weather with the appearance of a frozen Buddha, is there something wrong what did she do? Don't tell me you planned this from the first time. Off screen. Sikvaria. What Shidu did was a suicidal trump card she said surprised. Zenobia. Why did you do it? She asked looking at her friend. Irina. If I'm going to die, I'll leave a chance for them to win, even if it means dying in the process, said confidently to the blue-haired girl with a green streak. On screen. Ice. I feel for her I cannot express, you are charming. B. A rainbow in my eyes makes even hell freeze, and under the shine of the moonlight if you hide a certain Issei, ha 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 he will catch you, and there is Hashira to eat, there are a lot of people to eat, there's no point in running, because I'm not going to leave it for later, and it's with the brightness of the moon that the creature appears, Issei the upper moon too. The rainbow of my gaze makes even hell freeze, and in the brightness of the moon, a certain Issei is hiding, ha 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 he is going to catch you, and there is Hashira to eat, there are many people to eat, and there is no point in running, because I'm not going to leave for later, with the brightness of the moon a creature appears, Issei the upper moon too. Screen turns off. The supernatural was with a mix of emotions as some fainted, Ria's every time she blinked she saw Issei, how he tortured her, how he had hex with her. And tracked for eternal freedom. Well, today's day afternoon night we'll watch one of my favorites I said with a smile without further ado, let's get this started to turn on the screen, without giving them time to say anything. On screen. Mondstadt Sky Nation of Freedom. L. The past that cannot be forgotten, stained with the blood of mortals who had to fight for their freedom. Off screen. The angels lowered their heads as they watched their father's creation die, they knew it was inevitable, but it still made them sad. On screen. L. But the price was too high, even for an Archon, his father Michael had lived through the cost of war, the Anemo Archon who guarded Mondstadt, with his bow and arrow, the wind that brings peace. Off screen. Heaven was surprised to see how their leader appeared, a similar thing happened with Michael, although for the fallen and demons it was funny. Azazel. Even in other universes you don't stop having a woman's face he said mockingly. Michael. It's better to have a woman's face than a hexual pervert like you, Azazel he said indignantly. Serziches. No Michael, not really, the hexual predator one can be changed, but I don't think so that Michael gets depressed. On screen. L. He has no end date, a simple bard who with his lyre and poems tells stories of a forgotten past, with his bow and arrow, the wind that brings peace, has no end date, a simple bard who with his lyre and poems tells stories of a forgotten past. The Nemo Archon. The Nemo Archon. The Nemo Archon. Off screen. Seraphol. A Nemo Archon? I asked curiously. Archon is a word that people in that universe use to refer to God, and Anemo refers to the wind, therefore it translates as God of the Wind I said calmly. Gabriel. My brother God he said as his now dull eyes had a slight glow. Michael. How did your eye turn out? He asked with a smile as Azazel and Serziches looked away. On screen. Liu Cool Lands of Trade. L. Rax Lapis, the personification of his own nation's wrath, that god who faked his death. Off screen. Asia. It's Kuo she said surprised. Mitlet. Thank you for calling us Nunchan being interrupted. Hal warned. If you don't tell us, we won't find out Mitlet finished his sentence, embarrassing Asia. Asia. Excuse me she said looking away embarrassed. Rias. Can a god fake his death? I ask, looking at the gods of mythologies. Zeus. That's nonsense why would a god have to fake his death? He asked mockingly only to receive a blow. Odin. Shut up Zeus, you have as much lust as you do stupidity angrily, and answering your brat's question, yes, a god can fake his death, only several do not do it for different reasons, in my case, because there are still things that I do not know, Zeus, because his stupid lust prevents him, Shiva for his family. But those who have nothing or look for something new fake their death or directly defend the earth he said calmly. On screen. L. In order for his people to advance without his command, the patron of contracts, Issei, in mortal life fulfills his wish to protect Kuo, the Geo-Archon. Off screen. Kiba. Issei is a bucking god. Exclaimed surprised. Riser. I'm also surprised, our friend is a god he said, although it gave him a headache just like Kiba. Sona. Geo. Something like Earth? I asked curiously. Yes, Issei in that universe is the god of earth, rock, contracts, and it seems to me of war one said not very sure apart from being the strongest Archon I said calmly. That is my belief, that even with Morax is the strongest of the seven. Rias. And who is the weakest Archon? She asked curiously. That's Michael while the leaders laughed. Michael. But I'm still a god, which you're not, so keep quiet so that they would be silent when they remember that. On screen. L. His spear in hand, the weapon that punished the ancient gods who sought chaos over time he lost friends, causing erosion in the most solid rock. Off screen. Kaneko. Erosion. She asked annoyed it's not something perverted, right? She asked while her fists had a blue aura. Let's make something clear Candy Girl, so that Kaneko gets a streak when she's called girl, just because something says hero, doesn't mean it's perverted, is that clear? Well Kaneko nodded, slightly looking away. Then Alana. But still, what do you mean by erosion? I asked slightly worried. Erosion is a general term for the process of becoming mentally worn down due to a combination of factors affecting a person's life, including natural memory loss, as well as emotional loss or the experience of traumatic events. Eventually, erosion will cause a person to lose their sense of self. Even powerful and long-lived beings such as gods and dragons are susceptible to erosion. Please explain, though Office spoke. Office. If what you say is true, then why are we still the same? In a monotone voice. Red is in the gap, which keeps him away from everything, and you? Well, you have no emotions, you don't live with anyone, you don't give a shit what happens, that's why you are not affected by the erosion, I said, disinterested. What I said somehow hurt Office, who watched the screen without saying anything. On screen. The Protect Kuo, the Geo Archon, his spear in hand, the weapon that punished the ancient gods who sought chaos over time. He lost friends, causing erosion in the most solid rock. Archon Geo. Archon Geo. Archon Geo. Off screen. Friends and wife. I said this so that some women would get jealous. I don't even know why they get jealous, so that they see me if they have only seen different versions of Issei, but not the one from their universe, therefore they don't know anything about him, so that the same women would lower their heads. Let's continue to see the screen. On screen. Inazuma Underworld, Nation of Eternity. The great Narukami, before her mortal life, is very fragile, and that is why eternity is the main thing to follow. Off screen. Murayama. But can eternity be achieved? I asked the supernatural. Zeus. Of course, if not, then what are we? I asked mockingly. They are primordial, unfaithful longevity, they are not eternal, I said calmly. Some beings laughed at the nickname their napkin said, others had a slight smile, while others were ours, although Zeus looked at me angrily. Do you see me, little hitch? I asked while making a sign buck you to smile. Rias. I bet my chance of having Issei as a boyfriend again that she is referring to a strape so that they see her with surprise. What? Sona. You. Of all the supernatural beings, you knowing about a goddess who is not mentioned so much in myths. She asked surprised, but anyway, going back to your bet, I bet to be your servant for a week if it turns out to be your queen Akeno, she said confidently. Akeno. It's because I control lightning, right? With a mocking and slightly indignant smile. Kiba. What are you complaining about, Akeno-san? You must be a goddess, so she nods shit so she gets a headache. Akeno. But I already am for those virgins, she said, pointing to the humans. On screen. All of Inazuma will stop suffering. It is her ideal, the losses of the past, which she could not avoid, like that of her mother Himejima Shuri. Off screen. Sona. It seems like you lost a bet, Rias, and it also seems like you won't be getting back together with Haidu-kun, as Rias started to sob. Rainer. Do you want to cry? I asked mockingly. Mitlet. What did you expect, Rainy? She's a girl who doesn't like to lose, she would clearly cry with a mocking smile. Well, it was clear to Akeno and Barakiel, it was her daughter, although Akeno lowered her head when she remembered that moment and then saw her father angrily, while Barakiel clenched his fists for not arriving in time. On screen. A difficult path with loneliness, times change, one must adapt in Euthymia, he often reflects, Himejima Akeno Inazuma, no I in eternity for Inazuma, a difficult path with loneliness, times change, one must adapt in Euthymia, Archon Electro. Screen turns off. Well, what did you think? I asked looking at those present. Gabriel Riser Kiba. My Ani Sama friend, a god-bucking god-goddess, they said, surprised excited. These two don't learn or what? I thought seeing them holding their heads with the difference that this one knows how to cook, seeing Akeno who noticed and waved with her hand. Okay, that's all, goodbye to leave. Gabriel. And we returned to total silence with his eyes dull, but with a slight shine. Rapliu. Michael looked at his sister with concern, since they saw Issei-verso she was not the same, while the others were doing their things, until I appeared. Okay, now, we'll see the nation of the Issei Archon to get some excited. Leisha. Issei-kun became quite a sissy with a perverted smile. Kaneko. Pervert, she whispered, although Leisha heard her. Leisha. Do you have a problem, catboard? I asked Kaneko with annoyance, who had dead eyes from being called a board. Why are you like this? It's the pure truth, with a superior smile. Kaneko. Looks away TSK while Rias tried to cheer her up. Kiba. But you're just making it worse, with a nervous tone. Let's start, I said to turn on the screen. On screen. Brafia. Breaking the mountains with a single thrust, riding the waves atop the pirate ship. Off screen. The underworld was shocked to see how the strongest queen was the first to appear, even though Surziches said. Surziches? Why does this excite me so much? He asked looking at his wife, who blushed. Ajuka. It seems that she is the active one, so it excites you because you are the passive one? I asked in the air. Brafia. Yes, in our universe I am also the active one, she said in a neutral but mocking tone. What the woman said caused the entire room to fill with laughter, although for Serziches it caused him to become depressed. Serziches? It was supposed to be a secret which caused more laughter. On screen. Rafia. The strength of the Crux fleet captain, she parted the sea without bothering me as a matter of attitude, it caused rumors, all over Liu. Off screen. Wodahama. What kind of rumors? He asked with clear intentions. Rafia. If you say something like that again, believe me kid, the top 2 Issei will be a baby thing, is that clear? With a dead tone and eyes while a light blue aura surrounded him. Serziches. If anyone oversteps his boundaries with my wife, blood will rain down as an orb appeared in his hand. I came to live in this faraway place, to flee from my past life. Atreus will not receive the legacy of violence. What is inside me, if I am also a god of war, what makes me different from those of these lands? I will never allow it, my son and I will be the gods we choose to be. I thought singing sorry, I couldn't help it. On screen. Rafia. Electrified the beat, I'm the best of the best, there is no sea beast that can survive my sword, be careful if it threatens my crew. Off screen. Then Alana. From freezer you went to Tesla Grey-chan with a slight laugh. Rafia's nerves stood out because of what her husband's mother said, but she still laughed too. On screen. Then Alana. Celestial balance, I maintain peace, I think about your well-being, I am a businesswoman without equal. Off screen. Rafia. From clan matriarch, she became a businesswoman, curious to say the least in a respectful tone. Then Alana. But I still give orders to others with a proud tone, making her children laugh. Ria's. Mother can be childish sometimes with a laugh until Laisha said. Laisha. The donkey talking about ears, haven't you bitten your tongue? With a smile. On screen. Then Alana. The jade chamber that guards Liu, just as my wealth will slowly expand, one day I will cover all of Teyvat with its shadow, in the name of Rex Lapis, let us prosper from now on. Off screen. Then Alana. Money, something I will never lack with a smile. Mitsuda. Of course, the rich woman humiliating the poor man with a feigned tone of sadness. Riser. Gives money to Mitsuda here, buy yourself something nice to leave where you came from. Mitsuda. What a nice guy looking at the money. On screen. Ravel. To the rhythm of rock I burned my enemies, it's a great performance, the stage is filled with pyro when I make a brutal appearance. Off screen. Ravel. I appear on the screen jumping a little. Riser. Ravel, I also appeared on screen at another time for Ravel to look at. Phoenix. But you appeared injured son, instead your sister is fine and she seems to be a rocker with emotion. Ravel. Why are you excited, mother? She asked curiously. Citri. Your mother was a fan of rock music in her youth while her children were surprised. On screen. Ravel. If I grab the mic everyone will shout Ravel, everyone knows my artistic talents, don't insist you are not rock and roll, you will burn with my scorching fire. Off screen. Phoenix. My girl is a rocker through and through, he exclaimed with emotion, how proud while crying comically. Riser Ravel. I never thought I'd see mother like this with a drop running down the back of her neck. Citri. Young Riser and Ravel, we were young at some point too, in an indignant tone, while Phoenix nodded. On screen. Kunu. I'm Kunu, now it's my turn, I accompany the dead so they have a good end, do you want a place at the funeral home El Camino? I'll give you a space, it will be cheap. Off screen. Kunu. Look Okasama, I'm also appearing on screen, she exclaimed excitedly as her tails moved happily. Rainer. These sinful eyes are not worthy of such tenderness, as she turned her head and closed her eyes, being followed by her fallen friends and some other entourage. Her cuteness level is over 9,000 while repeating Rainer's action. On screen. Kunu. My spear burns when I activate my E, I'm not afraid of ghosts, I won't fear Yuku from who's chasing Kaneko. I'm going to bury her with my shovel, why is it so difficult? Off screen. Kuroka. It seems that the little kitsune chose the path of violence while blue fire appeared on her back. Kunu. Go ahead, busty cat. I've killed a lot of cats in my short life. It won't be a problem to add another one while her eyes lost their shine. He's going wild to get Kunu to look at me, I didn't say anything to see the screen. On screen. Kaneko. Oh, what is she doing? I don't understand anything, Kunu is chasing me, she's crazy, oh wow, do they hurt you in battle? It doesn't matter. Off screen. Riaz. She's still expressionless, said with a drop. Kaneko. Bad but you while pouting. Kuroka. Well, the spoiled Grimmery is not wrong, she said with a slight laugh. On screen. Kaneko. I'll cure you with my frozen sword. Even though I look like a little girl, don't trust my appearance. I don't like you. Why? Well, I don't remember. Let me write down my part in the notebook, but I'm sure I'll forget to read it. Off screen. Ravel. Apparently for the first time looking like a girl has its advantages with a smile. Lady Phoenix. Of course his malice, she said with slight mockery, while Ravel blushed in embarrassment and Riser laughed out loud. On screen. Murayama. Do you want some delicious food? You've come to the right place, the head chef will make you the best you've ever tasted. Off screen. Murayama. You will see my culinary arts, he said with pride and a radiant smile. Hadis. Could you make me something to eat again, Murichan? You cook amazingly, she whispered to her friend who nodded with a smile. Ravel. Wouldn't you like to be the cook for the Phoenix family? I asked a girl with brown pigtails. Sona. I think you would like more from the Citri clan, that way he can teach me how to cook, she said calmly but thought nervously. On screen. Murayama. The boiled fish from Wanman restaurant, it's my special dish, I'll make it just for you, you'll burn with the attack of Guoba, just like the Julian chili, I'll be even in the soup, there are no sad faces when it's time to eat, my passion is cooking, and I won't let you down. Off screen. Murayama. Guoba? I asked curiously. Me? Guoba was an archon who, along with Issei, protected Liu during the Archon War, but he was so weakened that he became your companion and in some cases your bodyguard, explained calmly. I really don't remember much about Guoba. Murayama. Admire, I have a god as a bodyguard proudly. Motohama. He's going wild while hugging Mitsuda. But Issei knows how to calm her down, I thought calmly. On screen. Sona. The laws are clear and I know them all, whatever the problem is, I solve it, I close the disputes in a moment, and now, all of Liu trusts me as an advisor. Off screen. Lady Citri. You went from water to fire, daughter, I can't take it anymore, while crying comically being comforted by her husband. Serafal. Sona, you became a reggaeton singer? She asked, exclaimed looking at her sister. Sona. Of course not, One-sama, I do have a brain, while some laughter was heard. Note with this comment I don't mean to offend anyone's tastes, it's just a joke. On screen. Sona. My Adeptus heritage doesn't matter to me, I haven't even signed with Morax, I fix any mishap, no matter what, for a reason I'm known as the walking law. Off screen. Sona. What do you mean, Adeptus heritage? And what is an Adeptus? She asked, looking at me. Answering the inheritance, your father was an Adeptus and your mother a human woman, and that is an Adeptus, the Adeptus are guardian spirits of Liu, in addition to being the closest beings to the gods, calm down, much better than a relative. On screen. Kiba. This nation has a very different notion of chivalry than mine. A knight is not someone who fights and takes pleasure in his worth, but rather doing good satisfies him every day. Off screen. Screams were heard from females such as Kiaya, he's the prince of Kuo, he's still as beautiful, even in other universes, you don't stop having a prince's face, the last anger to the females looking for the culprit. On screen. Kiba. Signed Kiba, for you and your new Unias, when I appear not even an Ayu, everything is Doki Doki Kain Kain, I am weaving the verses, swords that rain down on you, see all my poetry dancing in the rain. Off screen. Riser. Little rascal, how do I know you're not insulting me? He asked, but his sister elbowed him. Ravel. Forget the demons understand any language, Oni-sama. With slight grace. Riser. Oh no, that's true, so that his sister starts laughing now. On screen. Saji. There is no spirit that can stop me, my attacks are cold, I have an innate talent, although I don't like how I achieve my goal, I break the microphone with my powerful exorcism. Off screen. Saji. I also appear on the screen with a big smile. Ravel. Welcome to the club with grace. Sona. Appears with some papers, sign here pointing to a place, and Saji does it here same as before, your initials here pointing to another place, and that's it, thank you to leave. Hadis. Aren't you too young to be an exorcist? I ask looking at Saji. Saji. Aren't you very loud for a human? I ask back looking at the girl. Hadis. What does that have to do with it? I ask again. Saji. Being so loud, I'm surprised you're not a banshee so some people can't see it. Motohama. A what? I asked confused. Sona. Banshees have been part of Irish folklore since the 8th century. They are female spirits who, according to legend, appear to a person to announce with their cries or screams the death of a close relative, she explained, so that some would nod. Saji. And with the reports we received of your screams, I had the theory that you were one playing it down. On screen. Saji. Walking through Liu with my monster cleaning polo, duty first, even if you don't pay me it's not fair, a pure heart can exorcise evil and a clear mind. Saji Tsubaki. Can't save the world. Off screen. Tsubaki. Why am I appearing with Saji-san? She asked looking at me. Well, in that universe you are Saji's aunt, so that they both look at each other and look away from each other. Sona. Again with papers in hand. I'm sorry Tsubaki, but those are the rules. Giving her a pen. You know where to sign for her to do it. Thank you. While she left and put the papers away, where not even Judas knows. On screen. Tsubaki. When I fell silent I can hear the silence of the mountains. I can see my curse looking at me in the water, training day and night without rest. I'm still up here, in my lonely dream. Off screen. Tsubaki. Am I cursed? She asked looking at me. Me. Why did I never open my heart? Why did that fear win me over? Now I have lost your love, do I even deserve your forgiveness? I thought while humming. Murayama. We already lost it. While Caddis nodded. On screen. Tsubaki. My soul tied with the red strings that keep me here, giving everything I have, what I can give of myself, with great adept power and the strength of my spear every enemy will fall for the hermit. Off screen. Sona. Your albino hair suits you Tsubaki, she said looking at her queen. Saji. White hair has always meant power, at least in anime, while Riaz nodded. Sona. Give me an example looking at her pawn. Momo. Satoru Gojima. His bishop responded to his king. Riaz. To Shinken and his children for Momo to nod. Saji. Son Goku with ultra instinct with emotion. But this I'm not saying that'll bring them, honestly I'll never understand why we authors make reaction fixer Proto X in such anime, and I assure you that the ones of Goku in DxD are the ones I'll understand the least, but oh well, let's continue. Sona. You guys win this round as Momo, Saji and Riaz are seen high-fiving. On screen. Julio. He generated blizzards if he raised his gaze, combatant in a war, my spear is my ally, the Adeptus Anemo is here in front, kneel before I disturb you. Off screen. Michael. So far we have 3 confirmed Adeptus looking at the leaders. Azazel. Yes, the girl Citri, the Queen Citri and your Joker to make her smile, although I like that version of your Joker. Julio. I think you're forgetting something Azazel, just like the girl Citri and her queen, I also have the powers of a god, we will have human bodies, but divine powers. Gabriel. He's going wild pointing at Julio. On screen. Julio. I live in the inn for reasons you don't understand, Tofu reminds me of devoured dreams thousands of years with enemies under my mercy, Liu is in my charge you have nothing to do. Off screen. Azazel. Decided, I like that version of your Joker better with a smile. Lee. But ironically Michael's Joker is under Issei's command simply. Julio. It doesn't matter where or when, but I will always protect the place where I am with a firm tone. On screen. Gabriel. I'm a little clumsy, sometimes I fail at my work, but I try hard, Liu comes first. Off screen. Gabriel. Gets up and walks towards Sona. Come on girl, let's finish this, snatching the papers from her, signing them and leaving. Azazel. I like Gabriel's attitude now, he whispered to his brother who just denied it. Although what neither of them realized was that Gabriel's halo flickered between yellow and black. Will this canon be altered? I thought seeing Gabriel's change. What a silly question, since the moment I brought them surely everything changed, haha I thought funny. On screen. Gabriel. I'll take a nap here if the time comes. If you need help, I'll come running. With my permafrost, it will be difficult for you to move. Off screen. Seraphol. Ice powers? I ask with interest. His heart is made of ice, and his sanity is fragile, I said looking at Gabriel who clicked his mouth. Michael. But it was something that you yourself caused, he said looking at me seriously. Which I am very and are proud of calmly. Seraphol. Come on Gabriel-chan, put down that serious face, and let's have fun, approaching the aforementioned with a smile. Gabriel. Sure Seraphol, let's have fun while creating a spear of light. Seraphol. That's not having fun, while shaking slightly. Gabriel. You're right to undo the spear of light, and Seraphol will sigh, it's for fun to now create a sword of light and attack Seraphol, which created some magic circles. The fight would have broken out between the strongest of heaven and hell if it weren't for my interference. Let's see, sitting to sit Gabriel, you sitting to now sit Seraphol away from Gabriel. Gabriel, I understand that with this new attitude you want to kill the demons, but please refrain from doing so, at least for now, making Seraphol tremble. On screen. Gabriel. My frozen arrows effortlessly defeat you, what a shame, but my waste wins battles, you are facing the power of the Coco Goat. Off screen. Gabriel. Coca-Cabra. Is it because someone cheated on me? Haha, she said sarcastically about herself. Michael watched his sister with concern, seeing that his friendly and tender sister had passed on to someone who apparently only looked down on herself. Michael. Look what you did, he whispered looking at me. I told you it broke before, I just said. On screen. The Fae. Nobody controls my being, nobody tells me what to do, I control my whole life and my rules, the gods cannot tell me what my destiny will be, I am against that. Off screen. Ikuo. Is that your sister Arthur? Looking at the aforementioned, who was also surprised. Arthur. My sister having such an attitude. He asked himself. Ollie. I like that attitude more than the other innocent girl one slightly interested. On screen. The Fae. My strength and my ability are above this, I trust in humanity and not in Rex Lapis, he only goes down once, it's too easy, for me his government is a sand castle, if he falls, pick him up no matter the way. Off screen. Ollie. Can we change our Fae for that one? Ask looking at me. The Fae. Hits volley on the head volley Baka pouting as Arthur glares at him. Ollie. Did I say something wrong? I ask without understanding. Ikuo. And you still ask that, idiot. While his tail moved quickly. You only look for strong people, right? I asked looking at him, and he nodded. I feel sorry for you Lucifer who didn't say anything but looked upset. On screen. Mitlet. Life is an opera, and I write about it, it is an art that fulfills me, and I will do it until I die. Off screen. Riaz. I'll take care of that with a smile while raising her demonic power. Leisha. I won't let you do that Gremory Riaz doing the same action as Riaz slightly surpassing Riaz. Rainer. Go ahead, female tomato hair, touch a hair, and you will be forgotten while making a spear of light. Surziches. Azazel, control your people he said looking at the fallen angel seriously. Azazel. And you control your sister Surziches, well now they expelled their aura under the nervous gaze of the reincarnated humans or demons. On screen. Mitlet. I handle the spear with the fluidity of the notes that come out of my every moment that I compose a new opera, everyone pays attention when my voice sounds. Off screen. Murayama. Shut up and take all my money with a handful of bills in front of the falls. Rainer. Calm down girl, if what you want is an opera you will have to talk to Mitlet and her representative, we are completely unaware of that she said with a nervous smile, seeing Murayama's attitude. Hadis. Damn, that's interesting to me she said the same as her brunette friend. Halawarn. Calm down seeing them approaching get out of the way, savages to create a spear and aim at them. Modahama. Hey, calm down, old lady while raising his hands. Halawarn. What did you call me? As the spear glowed brighter go ahead and subtract from the god you believe in, because this will be your human end to attack Modahama. Michael. You're not going to stop her? He asked looking at me. Nah, I honestly don't care much about what happens to Modahama or Mitsuda, and that's just talking about the humans I said calmly let's continue while Modahama's screams could be heard in the background. On screen. Issei. Let's see when they learn that facing me is like rubbing salt into the wound, if in the abode of Morax Moras do not live, I review the past now with the spears that approach, a petrification that reacts to being gravel. Off screen. Saji. There is no system as a charging symbol appeared above him and other beings. Kaneko. Is Kiba-senpai okay? I ask looking at the aforementioned. Kiba. Wait a minute bro, I'm getting a signal without seeing Kaneko. Kaneko. Did he just call me bro? I ask in disbelief. Bakeno. Yes, she called you bro with a slight laugh. Zeus. I don't know what they see in that god, I'm stronger, it's not for nothing that I'm the king of Olympus with a big smile. More like the king of the infidels you mean while Zeus growled besides, if I remember correctly, that Issei is a primal in the Geo element, so you could do a little damage to him, but he would end up defeating you to make him angry, and also as king of Olympus, nobody wants that position because they would have a paranoid, and who knows what else after him for that throne. On screen. Issei. Geologically I possess $1 million sum of roads to be the way to your funeral home, I will not accept any more prayers if you break this contract. Off screen. Murayama. Sure, the rich always humiliating the poor with shabby face and a depressive aura about her. Riaz. Not all rich people do that Murayama-san, so that they can see her as something wrong. Sona. Riaz is right about that, not all rich people do that, so that now they see her stop looking at me, it's embarrassing while covering herself with a book. Michael. What do you mean by not accepting prayers if a contract is broken? I ask looking at myself. Me. Being the god of contracts, these are the most important thing. If you break a deal you made with him, I'm sorry, but he will take you to St. Peter I said calmly. Kiba. Got it for Riser to continue. Riser. We did understand the reference to laugh. Inhaled it smells like reference I love the smell of references all the time to laugh too. Kiba Riser. We're going to get along really well wipes away a tear. On screen. Issei BJOKO circumflex BWFLGW, F. So that at the end the Geo element is displayed and a lightning bolt is heard falling. Screen turns off. Well, what did you think? For Leisha to raise her hand yes Leisha. Leisha. Could you let me spend a night with that hot Issei Issei? I ask with clear intentions. Damn lady to make her smile, but it's okay, bye to snap my fingers and make her disappear. Saji. Shall we confirm, delicious? For the men to nod. Wotahama Mitsuda Kibarizer. We confirm it with all the natural supernatural laws, they said in unison. Brainer. That's from the devil to get away. Palwarn. Obviously Slug, they are demons, he said to give Raynor a slap. You are a fool. Raynor. Why? And this gratuitous blow. Rubbing her head. Okay, bye, so they can freeze. Word Issei. The supernatural beings and humans could be seen talking about what they had seen previously until the screen lit up. Azazel. This is strange, said, seeing that the screen was just blank. Surziches. True, whenever it turns on it starts a tune, but now it's just like that with his left hand on his chin. The others present were just giving their opinion until the screen went black and in red letters it said MSA. Riaz. MSA. This is interesting, as a chill began to run through her. On screen. Issei could be seen in front of Raynor's body. As it began to rain. Issei. Raynor. Honey, no, I'm sorry Raynor, I wasn't there to protect you, as he knelt down and hugged Raynor's corpse, to look up and see a reddish head of hair walking away. I will get revenge, he thought with rage and anger. Off screen. Many were worried, hurt to see their friend love interest like this. Sona. I'm not complaining, but what are you doing back in Kuo? I ask in the air. Tsubaki. Without him being present we won't know, looking at her friend King. Well, with his napkin. The author could be seen in his bed, completely covered. Holy crap, I wanted cold, but not like this, while shivering, and it looked like it was starting to rain. Great, just what I needed. Back with DxD. Michael. Silence, it will continue so that they can see the screen. Riaz was smiling as she watched how she killed the hitch who dared to take her boyfriend away from her. On screen. Now Issei could be seen in front of Riaz, who had a crazy smile and a blush, looking at Issei. Riaz. My Issei-kun, now that that winged dog is gone, we can be together, while running towards Issei to hug him. Issei, seeing that, just clenched his hand, hitting Riaz, who shot off to the right, only for Issei to also look in that direction. Issei. Walking slowly towards Riaz. Well, I'm sorry Surziches, this is the reason why I never make promises. You killed my girlfriend, while his left eye lit up in a light blue-yellow hue and created spears of light. Off screen. Riaz. Promise. Although she was also upset because her boyfriend hit her. What promise, Oni-sama? Surziches. Looking at his sister angrily. The promise was that he would protect you, although seeing what you did I can't blame him for what he does. Sighing. Riaz. But what are you talking about, Oni-sama? Don't you see that he hit me? She asked angrily. Surziches. And you killed his stupid girlfriend, he exclaimed to his sister, who was surprised. I think what he's doing to you is very justified, to see the screen. Serafal. This is getting good, watching the drama between siblings. Gabriel. Yeah, right. Asked next to Serafal, who jumped in fright. You know. That guy isn't here now, so creating a lightsaber I can do this, to make several cuts to Serafal, who didn't have time to react, causing her to fall to the ground. Well, my job here is done, to sit next to her brother. Although something that only his brother noticed was that his wings were a shade of gold on top and black on the bottom. On screen. Issei. Why? Whispered to Riaz. Riaz. What did you say, love? While getting up with blood in her mouth. Issei. Tell me, why did you do it? Why did you kill Raynor? He asked, screamed while tears fell from his eyes. Riaz. Because she took you away from me, that hitch took you away from me, so I had to do something to get you back into my arms, love. Well, starting to laugh. Haha, you should have seen her terrified face when I killed her, how she begged me to stop. Haha. Well, Issei looked at her angrily. Issei. You're crazy, with a frown. Riaz. Crazy for you, sweetheart, while smiling at him. Off screen. Riaz's parents watched their daughter's actions with concern, while her brother was serious. Sona. She went crazy, said on air. Tsubaki. Yes, I think that was noticed since Haidu-san hit Gremory-san. Surziches. Keep an eye on her, Ijuka, we don't know what my sister might do next. Looking at his friend. On screen. Issei. You're not worth my time. Hitch. Riaz smiled at being called that goodbye, while creating a small spear that pierced Riaz's head. How could this end like this? While kneeling and his right hand glowed in a red tone. Off screen. Surziches. I can't be mad at you after what happened, he said with a sigh as a tear fell from his right eye. Then Alana. But what are you saying, son? He killed your sister and my daughter, she asked, looking at him angrily. Zeoticus. And she killed the boy's girlfriend, he said to his wife in a serious tone. Leisha. I knew you were a Gremory, Hitch, but I didn't think that much, while looking Riaz straight in the eyes. Sona. Sorry to interrupt your family discussion, but this isn't over yet, so you can see the screen. On screen. Everything went black as the surroundings fell apart and came back together as Issei remained kneeling, and the number 327 appeared. After remaking reality 327 times. Issei could be seen in a remote place screaming. Issei. Why? How the buck, every time I remake reality the same thing happens. Raynor dies, Riaz goes crazy, everything keeps happening over and over and over again, while clenching his fists. Yes, if I want to end this, I have to be more determined. Well, his left eye had a light blue circle being surrounded by a red one and purple fire floating out. Off screen. Nobody could believe it, they had never seen the brown-haired boy explode like that, and seeing his left eye did not give them a good feeling. Raynor was not better either, she looked at Riaz with anger for killing her and with concern at seeing her love interest like that. On screen. Issei could be seen wearing a black hoodie with a hood on while in front of him was Mitlet, who was running in the direction of the Mitlet. Issei-sama, I'm glad I found you, please I need your help while hugging him. Issei. What's wrong Mitlet? What's going on? I asked with a serious tone. Mitlet. There is a fallen angel who is crazy, he killed all of our companions, and 2 letters appeared above him along with a number that seemed to make him stronger and crazier, he said with fear. Issei. Calm down to push Mitlet away, I heard about him, come I'll take you to a safe place as he began to walk behind Mitlet. And what was that fallen angel like? To be careful. Mitlet. I didn't get a good look at him, but they say he's around this area. Looking down seeing that he had a spear that pierced his stomach. Issei. I'm sorry Mitlet, but I'm doing it for the greater good while covering Mitlet's mouth, undoing the spear and Mitlet's body falling on the bench. Your LV increased. Off screen. Mitlet watched in fear as she was killed at the hands of her older brother as she held a hand to her stomach while Raynor was in shock and Calawarn covered her mouth as tears fell from her eyes. Calawarn. My daughter, my sweet and beautiful daughter died because of her older brother. He thought sadly. Azazel. This is bad, so you can see it, if a fallen kills another he will go crazy, so you can see Kakabiel. Kaneko. So that's why he's like this? She asked in her usual tone. Raynor. Nah, he's always been like that, timestamp mockingly. Riaz. It's been a while since I called her aboard, it's okay that she's flat, but it's enough for Kaneko to now look at her with annoyance. Kaneko. If you're going to say such nonsense, you'd better not talk, President, while her pupils were tearing. On screen. Now several fallen were seen, among them Calawarn, Donosik, Raynor, Issei, etc. Calawarn. Children are supposed to bury their parents and not the other way around, as he fell to his knees in front of his daughter's grave, which read Mitlet, beloved daughter, friend and sister. Issei. Come on Calawarn, you have to rest, to accompany Calawarn to his house. Calawarn. I appreciated Issei while they were heading home. Time skip night. Issei could be seen entering Calawarn's room. Calawarn. Sleepily asks W what's going on. Only to see Issei standing to the side with a sword. Issei. What are you doing? Only to see a sword buried in his chest. WYY. While coughing up blood. Issei. As I told your daughter so that Calawarn would open his eyes, it is for the greater good, as tears fell from his eyes. Calawarn. He could only extend his hand towards Issei's cheek. My broken child, he smiled in pain. Thank you for everything you did for us and for this opportunity to reunite with my daughter, so that his hand fell limply and he closed his eyes to never open them again. Issei. I'm sorry Calawarn. As tears fell from his eyes, he released the sword and left the place. Your LV increased. Off screen. Calawarn just watched with a sad smile at what his eldest son was becoming due to the actions of a girl with raging hormones. Mitlet. Can someone explain to me why we have to die for the actions of a horny hitch? The fallen loli asked angrily. Sirziches. I can answer that for you, little fall. Mitlet got a vein of anger at being called little, thanks to the actions of my stupid sister, who can't accept that the reason Issei-kun distanced himself from almost everyone was his infidelity to Siri. As angrily. Mitlet. With all due respect, do we have to die at the hands of my elder brother because of a tantrum that hitch caused? He asked, shouted angrily while throwing a spear of light towards Riaz. On screen. Donosik looked with a serious look and a spear of light at Issei, who had a bow and arrows pointing at Donosik. Donosik. Why are you doing this, boy? While clenching his spear. Issei. It doesn't matter, old man, soon you will die too, while pointing towards Donosik while his arrow shone. Donosik. Come on boy, let's see if you can defeat me this time, while launching himself at Issei. While they were fighting, you could see a barrier forming around the area for Sona Citri to appear. Off screen. Serafol. My Sotan's time has come to hug Sona, who, a little embarrassed, reciprocated the hug. Tsubaki. These miracles don't happen even in the Rose of Guadalupe while kneeling. Sona. Don't be immature, Shinra Tsubaki while looking at her with neutral eyes. Momo. And he's back sighing. On screen. Sona. You too, stop, she ordered with a frown. How could you do this without having a barrier in place? Do you want to expose yourself to the human world? While adjusting her glasses. Issei. Donosik. Shut up, keep quiet, Miss Citri, this is a matter of half fallen, they said, without turning to look at her. Sona angrily approached Issei only to receive a blow from the aforementioned with her wing, which sent the Citriaris flying. Issei. Listen well, damn Sona Citri, get out of here, or I swear I'll kill you too after killing that hitch Gremory Riaz, is that clear? Well, for the first time since the fight began he looked her directly in the eyes. Sona. But this is mahhhhhh to fall to the ground and scream while holding her hand, and blood fell while in her palm, there was a hole from which smoke came out. Issei. I warned you, now get out or the next wound will be on your head, got it? He said while at all times he did not stop struggling and hitting Donaseek. Sona in fear disappeared into a magic circle with the symbol of her house. Issei. Now without interruptions to create a sword of light and throw it at Donaseek who dodged it with ease. Donaseek. I'm disappointed in you Issei, I was hoping you'd stop doing that by now looking at him mockingly. Issei just waved his hand in defiance or well that was what he thought until. Issei. You fell old man, you finally died while watching Donaseek's body fall with his sword of light on his head, did you really think I would do that without a plan? I asked Donaseek's body mockingly. Your LV increased. Off screen. Seraphol. How dare you attack my Sotan angrily as ice began to float around her. Serziches. Seraphol enough he said in a serious tone. Seraphol. What do you mean, enough? She asked angrily, he hurt my Sotan, I'm going to kill him. Serziches. You will not do that so that Seraphol's gaze intensifies as your superior ordered you. Seraphol was surprised by that although it hurts me to admit it, his problem is with Riaz, if you attack him who knows what it could cause in the underworld with a serious tone, making Seraphol sigh in anger. Ajuka. Seraphol, part of a leader's duty is to do the right thing even when it's not the best for you in a serious and calm tone. On screen. Raynor could now be seen on the ground injured as blood dripped down her arms, legs and head. Raynor. I say I'll love please stop it, it hurts as blood began to come out of her lips. Issei. SHHH Ray-chan, it'll be over soon in a dull tone as he avoided looking at Raynor. Off screen. Raynor. Looks like my time has come sighing. Azazel. You're pretty calm even knowing that you're going to die he said slightly surprised. Raynor. Knowing who pushed Issei, I'm happy to know that it's for a special reason and not just because giving a sad smile. Gabriel for the first time in a while since he saw Lee, changed his expression from a neutral one to a slightly sad one, seeing Raynor like that although also angry at Riaz for what she caused. Much. Looking at his sister maybe I can still save her from falling he thought with determination. On screen. Issei. That bad I need more love while clenching his fists. Raynor. Boo but it's wrong, if we help her maybe she won't want to do any of that anymore and you're not safe killing either looking at Issei with tears in her eyes. Issei. You don't understand he screamed as tears fell from his eyes that hitch, she will kill you again and again and again and again as he fell to his knees, so I will stop that, besides to see Raynor with a smile, it will be better to be killed by me instead of, but was interrupted by Raynor. Off screen. Palawarn. That's worse she shouted angrily while Mitlet tried to calm her down. Mitlet. Mom that surprised several, they had heard and seen on the screen that Mitlet was Kalawarn's daughter, but they didn't expect it to be true. Calm down, as Ani-chan said, it's for the greater good, to prevent Gremory Riaz from becoming a bigger problem to hug her mother. Kalawarn. With tears she hugged her daughter, even knowing that she was not well she had to accept it. Lady Citri. I hope you're happy Riaz, you pushed my foster child into madness she said with a frown. On screen. Raynor. But it's not okay, if we interrupted by Issei. Issei. Enough for a large spear of light to hit Raynor. Now what could be seen was a tear falling down Raynor's beautiful face. Off screen. Azazel. No. Mitlet. You can. Serziches. D. Palawarn. Raynor she screamed in fear when she saw how her friend and her foster son's girlfriend ended up. On screen. Raynor. It's okay I know this was difficult for you right? She asked as she raised her head to look at Issei with her only eye now. Now Issei saw what his spear of light did splitting Raynor in half where only her right hand remained. Issei. Ray Raynor and me to get closer to Raynor. Raynor. SHH, it's okay love, it's okay to fall with a smile and stop breathing. Your LV increased. Issei. He started laughing. Off screen. Gabriel. How can he laugh after killing his girlfriend? I asked annoyed looking at the screen. Lady Phoenix. You must have loved him a lot to smile after what he did to you she said, looking at the beautiful fallen woman. Raynor. With a blush but sad she said it seemed so to lower her head. While in the astral realm. Mickey was seen on a pile of beaten bodies. Lyko. That was entertaining now I can scold my child for what he did while I was away. Back with DxD. On screen. Issei. Ha 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 while kneeling and bringing his hands to his face sniff ha ha sniff h ha h ha. Riaz. Ice-kun, I was wondering what would break first in you while looking at Issei with desire. Well, the aforementioned laughed your body or your mind to smile. Now we will be together. Now the capital of Lilith was seen on fire while Issei was in front of Arias, who was on the ground. Arias. No matter what you do, Issei-kun, I will always remember it and you will not be able to change it. I will always come back and we will be together, she shouted the last thing with love. Issei. And I will make sure it doesn't happen again, so that his hand lights up in a yellow fire and sits on Ria's waist to place his hand on Ria's head. Ria's. She was writhing until Issei removed his hand. My memories, what did you do with them, Issei-kun? She asked worriedly. Issei. I took it upon myself to finish this, to create 3 small spears of light without memories, this time for 2 of those spears to stab into Ria's eyes and the last one into her brain. Now Issei's hand glowed red, thus starting a new reality with the hope of never doing this again. Screen turns off. Surziches. Approaches Falbium. I want you to keep an eye on her, okay Falbium? I asked to receive a nod from the aforementioned. Then Alana. How can you be like this after he killed your sister? She asked angrily, looking at her eldest son. Surziches. Mother, I am the Mao Lucifer, he said seriously, between anger towards Issei and love towards Rias. I choose the reason why he did it, so that then Alana remained silent. Michael. Let's all calm down, we're not going to get anywhere fighting, we just have to wait and see what's next. Devouring us. I know the winner was Shiva, but I didn't know how to continue it, so maybe for the next one. We can see the supernatural and human world talking to each other, although some from both worlds saw Rias with anger, sadness, disappointment, etc. for what she had caused in a future or alternate reality, while Surziches was talking to his mother while his father was next to him. Surziches. I've made my decision, mother. You won't make them change their minds, seriously. Then Alana. I understand you, son, but being interrupted by her son. Surziches. I already said, mother, look, I know it's Rias we're talking about, she's my sister and I love her, but I'm also a demon king, and one of my obligations is to do the right thing, no matter how hard it is, even if that means keeping an eye on Rias or killing her, was the last thing he said as he addressed his wife. Meanwhile, Venelana clenched her fists in anger and helplessness towards herself. She knew that her son was right, but she did not want to accept it. Appearing in some red pixels, I'm back, you bucking buckers, I screamed in front of Kaneko, who covered her ears and hit me, sending me flying. I'm back, I've fallen again in pain. Kiba. I think you went too far, Kaneko, watching me get up in pain. Kaneko. It was his fault for yelling in my face while crossing his arms and looking away. Saji. And you. Looking at me, why did you disappear last time? He asked with doubt. It was cold, work and school, although school adds up to 0 on the left with a sigh as I started smoking. And yes, dear readers, I am a smoker, maybe I will go back to smoking characters, but nothing beyond that. Rias. Don't smoke in front of the kids, while looking at me angrily. I just moved close to her to blow the smoke in her face. Oh, what will she do, heir to the Gremory clan? I asked mockingly. Rias. You won't like what comes next, while expelling a crimson aura. I just clicked my tongue while finishing my cigarette. You take the fun out of life while putting out the cigarette on Ria's arm. Well, now yes, let's continue with a smile. I said without paying attention to Rias, who began to complain about the burning sensation generated by the cigarette. On screen. Although I know they are a music trio, it will only be Issei to generate a greater impact on the audience. Issei. She has the power to make me lose control. The cold quickly turns into heat. Her lips are that candy that accompanies her eyes with that amethyst purple color. Off screen. So that images of Issei kissing Akeno in a rather passionate way were shown, which with her characteristic personality said. Akeno. Ara ara, it seems that this time I am the lucky one, foo, while licking her lips without any shame. The underage females from both worlds blushed upon catching the tone and intention used by Akeno. Rias. Get away from Issei Himejima, Akeno, she ordered with a serious tone towards her queen. Akeno. And what would happen if I decided not to listen to you, President? While approaching her without being intimidated by the look of her king. Rias. You will receive the punishment for not obeying your king's order, now expelling his aura. Akeno. Hahaha, she let out a light laugh. Rias, sometimes you are so stupid. While the others looked at her in surprise. You know that the pain of punishment will only make me stronger, while her hand began to be surrounded by sacred lightning unconsciously. Kiba. Please, President, Akeno-san, could you? He would be interrupted because he was hit by both of them, sending him flying. Surziches. Enough, while separating both of them later you can discuss all you want, but for now let's finish watching this while looking at them seriously. Rias. But Ani being silenced by Surzich's aura. Surziches. I said, he shouted, and then sighed that they would argue afterwards, was I clear? With seriousness in his voice. Akeno. Rias. Hi Lucifer, sama Ani, sama Akeno with a smile, and Rias reluctantly. On screen. Issei. It is best love woo in my room woo it is the really god together you and me woo give me that sweet taste, in 1,000 positions I put you, you no longer have anyone to excuse you let the action begin. Off screen. False. How many positions do I use, master with a slight lustful tone, was what was said about the falls. Something told the fallen and devils that they would like this theme. Xerxes and Xeodicus looked at their wives in surprise, though they later let it go, it was part of the nature of their race, it would later pass on to their wives. Gabriel just gave a slight perverted smile as well, becoming interested in that topic. Well, catching Akeno's attention the classic doggy style, the Indra, Andromach, the courtesan, the oyster, the cowgirl, the full anal and vaginal halcyon, etc., listing the positions. Aika. What the buck she exclaimed with surprise, excitement and slight fear he has great stamina and is bucking hung, she exclaimed with excitement with those qualities, let him buck me whenever he wants, I'll be your freest girl Issei-sama. Rainer, Kalwarn, Mitlet and Akeno from the fallen side agreed with the human. While on the demon side, Laisha, some she-devils agreed. Who knew? Okasama what does it mean to be hung? She asked looking at her mother who blushed a lot. Isaka. Nah nothing my girl, it's nothing while caressing her daughter's head with a blush. On screen. Issei. Movie diva, such a particular girl, I saw from her way of gesturing how much she wants a person to challenge her, dominate her, deprive her of parole. Off screen. So now Akeno was shown tied up in BDSM style, accompanied by a lustful smiling Akeno and an Issei hitting her base with a whip and letting a little wax fall on Akeno's body, making her start to hone. Michael. I think this is getting too heated he said slightly uncomfortable. Xerxes. I already knew this since this started as if it were nothing. Azazel. I think you're a faggot mocking Michael who looked away. Gabriel. Homosexuals in the house of God. I asked mockingly I see why I am the favorite with a funny smile. Some were surprised uncomfortable by Gabriel's comment, although Michael was taken aback by his younger sister's comment. Seraphol. This is better than the Rose of Guadalupe with some popcorn. Gabriel. Shut up magical girl, go book yourself looking at Seraphol who shuddered. In the mother, I have created an unstable person I thought with surprise. On screen. Issei. The chemistry becomes very strong, it seems that I can read your mind, a little alcohol for the atmosphere that I'm hot, it's good that you suddenly appear girl. Off screen. Akeno. Issei-kun, if you're hot, I'll be your fire extinguisher, while slightly unbuttoning her clothes under everyone's gaze, enjoy the view little virgins, since it's the only thing you'll get from me she said with a mocking smile towards the male humans. Aika. Still none of them would be able to please you she said without importance. The human and supernatural world didn't say anything about it because of how awkward the conversation between the fallen devil half and the perverted human was becoming. Sona. Kiriuika she said so the aforementioned would look at her by any chance are you a daughter of Lady Aphrodite? She asked with doubt. Aika. Not even I could tell you she said now also with doubt. Murayama. We'll find out in a detective suit. On screen. Issei. I make you feel bad because I am an animal that wants to slowly devour all your skin, even if it is immoral you like it when I lose control, I will eat you until the sun comes up. Off screen. Rainer. Fallen so that the females of the fallen faction present look at her, we are going to do the white month with Haidu Issei, she exclaimed with a perverted smile. Some of the fallen ones shouted with joy, others blushed, others had a serious face, but with a blush. Mitlet. We can't do that Rei One-sama, you are his bodyguard, I'm his younger sister, that's immoral with a blush. Rainer. She just approached Mitlet and whispered come on Mitlet-chan, don't you want to feel your older brother's manhood? Imagine it, being impaled and making a mess of your small, childish and cute body. Term of whispering with a lustful tone. Kalwarn. Pulls Rainer away from her daughter, you will not corrupt my daughter Rainer, unless you want punishment seriously. Rainer. Approaching Kalwarn I'm a masochist Kasama, you can do it, you know I love pain with a triumphant smile. Kalwarn. If you want it that way sighing when we get back you are forbidden to see Issei, watch television and go shopping for a year he sentenced. Rainer's smile faded, replaced by a face of terror. Rainer. You can't do that Kasama she exclaimed in fear. Kalwarn. 2 years re-sentenced. Mitlet. To repel he said mockingly. Rainer. Ouch she complained with annoyance fine, but it will only be a year, right? She asked with hope. Kalwarn. And that is why it will be 3 years, I said final sentence. Case closed. Everyone else fell silent as the heated atmosphere changed to a comical one between a mother, her daughter and her other foster daughter. On screen. The shine of your skin reflects more lights, it is your cruel swing, the one that seduces me, get on my carousel, let our bodies sweat honey, so that we end up devouring each other. Off screen. Enemu. And so, we return to regular programming sighing. Some people laughed at the comment made by the cadre. Hineko. There must be a hidden reference around here, she said as Murayama came closer with a magnifying glass. Who knew? Start sniffing, it smells like reference with a smile. Isaka. I think you should stop looking so much on the internet, with a slight laugh at her daughter's actions. On screen. Issei. I feel that flame inside when I look at you, those little eyes before you were my prey in bed, you slept so well, after doing it so hard. Off screen. After reaching the nirvana of Hex, how can you not sleep as well? I asked playfully. What no one noticed to Keno was that her nipples began to harden as a blush formed on her cheeks and clear liquid began to drip down her legs. The Keno. I want to have him in my bed, can I have him in my bed? I'll have him in my bed, she exclaimed with a big smile on her face. Irina. Fallen jeans hit a woman hard with slight surprise and grace. Zenobia. Irina, why are your wings like that? She asked, noticing how her friend's wings had black feathers. Irina looked at her wings, surprised and scared when she noticed the change in her wings. Irina. But what? She exclaimed in fear, but I haven't felt hatred or impure thoughts, so that her wings have more black feathers. It's okay, I admit it, I do have them, but this is the first time, while covering her face in shame for having those thoughts. On screen. Issei, the desire rises as time passes, the lights go down, kisses without a contract go, it shakes me, your innate talent of driving me crazy with passion. Off screen. Azazel. Hey, so he turns to look at him, can you take us somewhere else? This is getting awkward, so several men nod. Gabriel Penemu. It seems to me that you are a faggot, they said mockingly. Azazel just went to a corner muttering things about sisters and classmates who don't respect him. The Keno. Issei-sama, I will drive him crazy with passion as many times as I want, so that he dominates me, while she began to move her thighs, trying to calm the itch she felt. On screen. Issei. What I generate in you is not caused by anyone else, I am that full-in one who hides in the details, a drink and a kiss, so you fly through the air, I want to set the room on fire. Off screen. Now more she-devils and fallen ones were in the same boat as Akeno, while they secretly began to give themselves pleasure, occasionally releasing moans that were heard by some supernatural beings with animal features. Hineko. There are only perverted people here, masturbating in front of so many people, she whispered to herself, shit, the heat period is already here, he planned this, I'm sure, she thought while blushing and looking at me angrily. Hiroka, who was standing next to her, was a mix of angry and amused as she watched and heard her younger sister. Hiroka. Come on Shirin, give yourself over to the fun side of life, she whispered mockingly. On screen. Issei. She takes it out on me, if she screams she weakens me, she asks me to repeat this ending, that with your pretty figure you make Aphrodite jealous, you have already become addicted to me. Issei. I'm going to try all the things that I wanted to try for a long time, that blessed movement that turns me on the most, you love it when we get into heat, thank you once again for letting me have the honor. Off screen. Akeno. The honor was all mine, Haidu, Issei-sama with a smile as Rainer nodded, Mitla blushed, and Kalwaran shook his head with an amused smile at the attitude of his eldest daughter and the daughter of one of his leaders. Murayama. No, Akeno One-sama, I'll be the first, he's mine, with a perverted smile on her face. Leisha. It seems I was wrong, human, you are just like us, she smiled while hugging Murayama, who was embarrassed when analyzing her words. On screen. The shine of your skin reflects more lights, it is your cruel swing, the one that seduces me, get on my carousel, let our bodies sweat honey, so that we end up devouring each other. Issei. I make you feel bad, because I am an animal that wants to slowly devour all your skin, even if it is immoral, you like it when I lose control, I will eat you until the sun comes up. Off screen. Akeno. Yes daddy, raise me so that I am only yours and no one else's, letting out a slight moan. Erekiel, if he was holding back from saying something before, this was the limit of his anger. Erekiel. When I see that boy, he and I will have a very long talk about not getting close to my daughter, he whispered angrily. He was not stupid, he knew that if he said anything his relationship with his daughter would go overboard. How do I tell her that Issei will stay with her whether she wants to or not, I thought, seeing the expressions Akeno's father made. Riaz was seething with anger as she watched her queen make advances on her ex, even though he wasn't present. Riaz. How dare you make advances towards my boyfriend Akeno? While expelling a crimson aura. Akeno. What can I say but you, mommy is cute, while making her characteristic laugh. Besides, I'm sure Issei-kun prefers this, highlighting her breasts and butt to that, pointing at Riaz. Riaz. But we have the same attribute, she said, not seeing Akeno's logic. Akeno. Mine are bigger than yours, plus they are pure and not stained with the traces of another man, looking mockingly at Riaz. Catfight and half full, and I shouted excitedly while Riaz looked at me angrily and Akeno with a smile and a vein on her forehead. I'm just telling things as they are to see the screen. On screen. Issei. I need to see you, I want to eat you baby, I won't forget your skin, honey-colored tan, if I remember your kisses, I start to get excited, I feel like I'm a prisoner, I look at WhatsApp all the time. Off screen. False. Eat me all you want with a perverted tone. Me. A graphic image of Issei cannibalistically devouring a Keno crossed my mind, her corpse had an expression of horror, damn I have to stop looking at the internet so much I thought, slightly traumatized. Hiba and Saji raised their hands while having their eyes closed. Ria's Sona. Why did you raise your hand? They asked in unison. Hiba Saji. We sense a disturbance in the force to which both roll their eyes and some start laughing. On screen. B. The shine of your skin reflects the lights more, it is your cruel swing, the one that seduces me, get on my carousel, to make you hone while my lips devour you. Issei. I feel that flame inside when I look at you, those little eyes before you were my prey, in bed you slept so well, after doing it so hard. Off screen. B. Okay, I'm done I said this, so the men would breathe a sigh of relief and the women a sigh of disappointment. The Keno. It was so good and I'm not referring to the song she said making her intentions more than explicit. Gabriel. I wouldn't mind sleeping with him he said now that his wings became even darker, but leaving a few golden feathers. Michael was having a heart attack seeing what his sister had become, almost a fall, disrespectful, disloyal, among other things. We. Achinga, but where do you get the disloyalty thing from Michael? I asked myself seeing the rag to be Seraphin I'm leaving, while a toilet flush could be heard. Vegeta. A few days had already passed since what was seen previously where some things happened such as Ria's looking angrily at her queen who only smiled, Rainer begging her mother to lift the punishment, Michael praying to his father so that Gabriel does not end up falling, Irina being bothered by Zenobia, etc. The humans and supernatural beings would have continued with their business if the screen hadn't lit up. On screen. Donaseek and Issei were seen fighting with swords in a large lonely area until Issei lands a blow on Donaseek. Issei. Point for me I'm in the lead while breathing heavily. Donaseek. Didn't your mother teach you how to count, brat? We're even while leaning on a spear of light to get up. From one moment to the next they launched an attack only to be surrounded by renegade demons, and that Issei and Donaseek look at each other to smile and begin to attack the renegades. Donaseek. Don't even say it while attacking two renegades with two spears of light. Issei. Jackpot while two rays of light came out of his fingers and Donaseek was with his back turned. Screen turns off. Rainer. I don't know what happened, but it looks fun with a smile. Palawan. Now I want to kill renegades, even though we would be doing their job pointing to Rias and Sona. Mitlet. But mom, we would still have fun with a funny smile. Murayama. Approaches Kalawarn teach me, teacher while kneeling. Kalawarn. Excuse me little one, but teach you what? I see, I didn't know you liked scissors, if there is no other way well she began to take off her clothes. Murayama. And no, not that, I want him to teach me his fighting arts, to beat up two perverts with a slightly dark smile. Rainer. Mitlet, I like this girl with an amused smile as Mitlet shook her head. Hadis. She pointed at me, please teach me to having the same smile as her friend. Palawarn. Okay, I've decided, do you want to learn how to beat perverts? Ask exclaimed with a smile. Murayama Cadis. Yes with a smile they exclaimed. Palawarn. Then I will be your teacher pointing to herself with a confident smile. Donaseek. But you're forgetting something, master. Our fighting style is closely linked to the light and I don't think they can master it while looking at the humans. We. Suddenly appearing I'll take care of that so that a black whirlwind surrounds the two of them so that they now show themselves with a smile between mockery and emotion, problem solved calmly. Murayama. Now, teach us, teacher while bowing in front of Kalawarn. We. That will be for later, now let's continue to turn on the screen with a smile. On screen. Azazel. Love is the key that opens every heart, it is the key to dilute hatred and resentment, and for it even pride must be put aside, to undoubtedly protect our loved ones, commented in front of Issei. Off screen. Gabriel. You surprise me Azazel, I never thought those words would come out of you, said the half-fallen woman with genuine surprise. Azazel. Mickey taught me those words he said with a nostalgic smile. Palawarn and Donaseek smiled sadly as they remembered their late friend. Palawarn. If you saw your son Mi-chan, I'm sure you would be proud of the young man he became with a smile on her beautiful face. Without anyone noticing, the transparent silhouette of a woman with black hair, honey yellow eyes and 6 pairs of wings spoke. You're right Ka-chan, my little one, our great pride, we are proud of him was heard near Kalawarn who was looking everywhere. Mitlet. Mom, are you okay? Looking at her mother who calmed down when she saw Mitlet. Kalawarn. Yes, sorry daughter, I thought I heard something sighing. On screen. L. He was born as the son of a future cadre. Proud, semi-fallen, with the look of a beast that terrifies anyone with titanic power, but always subjected by a tyrannical regime. Off-screen. Leisha. Tyrannical regime? I ask with concern. When Mickey died, he asked Azazel to take care of his son, but instead, Azazel left him to Kakabiel, turning him into a weapon of mass destruction so that friends and those interested in the semi-fallen man would look at Azazel and Kakabiel with dead eyes. Azazel. Another me, he said nervously. You didn't take care of him even though Mickey asked you to, instead you focused on your research, and Calawarn had to take care of him, I said without seeing him. Calawarn. And I don't regret taking care of him, with a smile. Mitlet. Nor would I have him as an older brother, smiling with joy. On screen. No, he will not let anyone dominate him, not even a brutal dictator. The honor he has sustains him as a good fighter. If you see him approaching, be careful, he will kill you, there is no mercy, he exterminates every enemy. Off screen. Rainer. Wait, if it says no mercy that means being interrupted by me. Exactly, kill men, women, children, every single living being calmly. Kakabiel. Whistles, I need one of those so some people will see it with anger. Did I mention that I also kill Kakabiel? So that some people smile and Kakabiel looks at me angrily. Do you think I'm a faggot? Go book yourself to resume the screen. On screen. Anger predominates in his ruthless character because no one taught him to love and he was never loved, the perfect soldier with strength and intellect who did not know affection for him. All are insects. Off screen. Lord Bale. All the weak are insects who deserve nothing, in a mocking tone. Gabriel. Angelic breath. First stance. Lord's punch so that a big fist hits Lord Bale and he is thrown out. Keep talking, Motherbicker, there's more where that came from, with a dead tone. Arena. I want to be like her when I grow up, with a dreamy look. Zenobia. Teach me, teacher, looking at Habriel while a creaking sound could be heard in the background. You can see and hear the exact moment where his heart breaks, haha, laughing lightly. On screen. More, seeing his mother humiliated by Leviathan and Lucifer, the pride kept exploded into a hostile feeling, swearing revenge for the humiliation of his mother. He does not rest to destroy the immense threat. Off screen. Benelana. What a son dedicated to defending and avenging what happened to his mother, while some mothers like Lady Citri, Lady Phoenix, Calwarn nodded in agreement with what the Gremory matriarch said. Lady Phoenix. Why aren't they like him? Hitting her children on the head. Riser. Achinga. Who says no? I've already lost count of how many nobles and reincarnated people I've hit for trying to be too clever with Ravel and your mom while rubbing the area where the blow was made. Sona. In our case, Dad could freeze everyone without any problem, Mom with her typical serious face. Mitlet. In military uniform soldiers, we need to protect the boss, that's our job, while Murayama and Katz nodded. Calwarn. Just smiled tenderly seeing her daughter like that. What did I do to deserve a daughter like you? Hugging her lovingly. Gosh, it's so much love, it's making me sick, I thought, watching the scene that unfolded. On screen. Resentment, born from deep pain, hatred bears fruit in his heart, which froze because of pride, but his soul burns to avenge his mother, iron honor that gave him courage, and he was finally able to know love, which gave him the strength and courage to protect those he loves on this long journey. Off screen. Kiba. Damn, our friend inspires respect, trust and fear at the same time, while Riser and Saji nodded. Riaz. Marika mockingly looking at Riser. Riser. Did you say something? I don't usually listen well to weaklings, looking more mockingly at Riaz. Riaz. How are you being interrupted by Zeoticus? Zeoticus. Riaz, shut up and sit down now, raising his aura. Riaz. Hi, reluctantly. Sona. Riaz, you're so stupid that I can't insult you. With what Sona said, she made Murayama, Caddis, Leisha and Gabriel fall and laugh out loud. On screen. He was sent to Kuo in search of sacred gears, one more mission on the list of his selfish actions, thinking that it would be easy, but soon his arrogant attitude would succumb to a strong opponent. That insignificant low-class demon taught him that with courage all disadvantages are erased. Off screen. Riser. Well, there are some low-class devils, seeing his friends Saji and Kiba, who only told him "buck you," and Riser laughed amusedly. Kiba. At least we have a girlfriend to checkmate Riser. Riaz. Wait, do you have a girlfriend, Kiba? I ask, surprised. Kiba. Of course, and I say with pride and love that that girl is, so that the extra humans pay attention. Tsubaki Shinra, pointing to the aforementioned, who blushed as everyone was looking at her when her relationship with the horse Gremory came to light. Bakeno. And who is your girlfriend, Saji-kun? With doubt. Saji. The beautiful Sona Citri, the devil who stole my heart, as Sona blushed slightly. Seraphol. You stole my Sotan, creating an ice spear. Lady Citri. Seraphol, put down that spear now, seriously. Serafal. But being silenced by her mother. Lazy Citri. Slow down your ovaries, young lady, it's an order from your mother, so that Serafal clicks her mouth and obeys. Ravel. Calm down Ani-sama, the right one will come. While he secretly looked at Yubaluna, who blushed, and Riser's nobility smiled at the possible relationship between his king and his queen. Sona. Still blushing at what Saji revealed, asks, but who is the low-class devil? She asked with her serious face. It's Kiba, the prince of Kuo, so that Kiba gets slightly annoyed. Kiba. Now you got a ticket to chase me with sword in hand. Purse bro, it was a joke, it was a prank bro. While I continue running, if you stop jazzing me, I will make your fantasy with Tsubaki come true. Kiba. Still running, says you tempt me, let's do it. To stop abruptly. You fell to put some anti-magic chains on Kiba's feet, attached to a large steel ball. They always fall for that, sighing in relief. Tsubaki. Kiba-kun, what fantasies do you have about me? With a sweet tone that made Kiba nervous. Kiba. Have I told you how much I love you and how beautiful you look today? Tsubaki. Thank you Kiba-kun, but you won't be able to escape your destiny with nice words. In mariachi clothes, that guy is already dead, they just haven't warned him. On screen. L. And in a bloody fight he was finally defeated, his life was spared and he left with a wounded ego, but that enemy would help him defeat the tyrant who killed his mother without mercy. Off screen. Azazel. Who was the tyrant? With a serious tone while his wings appeared and became sharp like daggers. The original Leviathan of that universe, calmly. Halwarn. I don't give a shit if he's in that astral realm or wherever he is, I'll find him, hunt him down and make him wish he was dead for killing my friend, in a cold tone. Meanwhile in the astral realm. A beautiful woman with blue-green hair with some green strands is seen on the floor, hurt as she walks away from a Mickey Haidu, who had a spear in each hand. Mickey. You can run, but you won't escape from what I'll do to you, Leviathan, while advancing slowly. Leviathan. What the hell is wrong with you? I didn't do anything to you in life or in this kingdom, in a tired tone. Mickey. In life you tried to recruit me to your cause and said that if I had a son you would corrupt him, nice try for a future mother, but you made a mistake and that was underestimating my power, dear sister. As the spears were stuck a few meters from Leviathan's feet, now start praying to Father that this doesn't get worse. For bloody reasons we returned with the kidnapped. On screen. L. Rivalry and the desire to be stronger were born, training until he was almost on the verge of death, obsessed with surpassing Kiba's power, striving to the extreme while maintaining the attitude, he managed to access the balance breaker through the perseverance of never giving up under any circumstances. Resentment, born from deep pain, hatred bears fruit in his heart, which froze because of pride, but his soul burns to avenge his own iron honor that gave him courage. And he was finally able to know love, which gave him the strength and courage to protect those he loves on this long journey. Off screen. Julio. Is he a fallen angel with the heart of a white angel? I asked curiously while listening to the chorus. Michael. Could you tell me what his heart looks like, Gabriel? He asked, looking at his sister. Gabriel. You're a pain, Michael, she said, irritated with her brother. If you're the overlord of heaven, then you look at his heart. Michael. Looks at me angrily happy. Gabriel will never be the same again. Gabriel. And that's good, it opened my eyes, because I actually look more like an overlord of heaven than you, Michael. He faced his brother. Me. Gabriel, then you give your angelic blows to your brother, while we continue. On screen. L. His hard heart softened over time and soon he would enter into enormous bewilderment. He wanted to feel that dark power again, and he let his pure heart be contaminated with evil to fight against Kiba once more. Off screen. Lady Citri. Did she let herself be manipulated? And by whom? She asked curiously and worried that her friend's son would do something crazy. He allowed himself to be manipulated by a magician from the Chaos Brigade, and that happened because Issei realized that the subordinates of said magician considerably increased his power. Issei allowed himself to be manipulated to fight Kiba one-on-one, and that's what happened, I finished saying. And Alana. He didn't do anything crazy, did he? With slight concern. No, I just exterminate a lot of innocent supernatural beings, you know, on a Monday morning, no big deal. Some demons said, it's understandable. Others said yes, we know how it feels making the angels look at them annoyed, the gods weird. Some Yakes agreed and others didn't, and the fallen ones cared little. On screen. L. But this fatal error put peace at total risk. He never thought that the demon would leave his prison to cause chaos, fear and destruction. Seeking his redemption he faced him alone, but the monster exceeded all his capacity. Off screen. Saji. Issei will ask for help, right? After all, we are his friends and we can help him, so that Riser and Kiba nod along with a few members of the Grimory and Citri nobility and the Phoenix nobility would nod to help the friend of their king himself. Azazel. If I know Issei, he will fight that demon alone since thanks to him, that demon is free with a serious tone hiding his concern. Surziches. Issei has a moral duty to stop him to pay for his mistake in a serious tone. Rainer. Come on Ice, I trust that you will emerge victorious from this fight, hoping that our love interest wins the fight. How do I tell him? I thought while listening to Rainer. On screen. L. Cornered, he said goodbye to his son with sadness, knowing that he had no other strength, with weak forces and no other alternative, he was willing to give everything and sacrifice his life. Gathering his energy as the last option, he would leave his existence in a great explosion. Off screen. Issei's falls, friends and aunts, were blistering Issei as well as other supernatural beings to a lesser extent with the hope and certainty that he would be the victor, until they heard the phrase, he said goodbye to his son with sadness. Lady Citri Venelana. We have another grandson to spoil, they said excitedly. Sona. And who is the mother? She asked the question in the air. The mother is Kalawaran, so that the aforementioned one is in shock. Mitlet. Wait for your train, would that make Oni-chan my father? Or would he still be my brother? And would that child become my half-brother or my cousin? I asked, causing several to be left with that doubt. Congratulations Mitlet, you broke everyone's mind faster than I broke Gabriel's. While Gabriel looked at me with a forced smile, you earned this, putting a medal on me that said, Mindbreaker N1. On screen. F. He changed the cold for a gentle warmth, achieving to know the true love that he found in his family and in the bonds of friendship that he slowly forged. He never rests because he is always tenacious, his strong conviction made him capable of being a guardian of this planet. Issei. Proudful, and I am the son of the Mickey Haidu cadre, my name is Issei Haidu. As the rhythm continues, Issei is seen facing the demon with his fallen angel wings spread out, although they had half of their feathers white. Screen turns off. Hades. You have my respect Haidu, the Elysian fields will be open for you with respect for Issei's sacrifice. Amaterasu. Kami will also welcome you with open arms Haidu, Issei with an almost imperceptible smile. Some gods said the same thing, although some gods also disagreed because thanks to Issei, that demon had been released. Surziches. It seems that it is over, but would be interrupted due to the screen turning back on. On screen. Issei and the demon were seen face to face. Issei looked at him seriously, but the demon looked at him without understanding what was happening. Issei. Hi Majin Buu, I discovered the way to defeat you, while creating a spear of light from today on, you're on a diet fatty funny. Wait, the wires got crossed, this wasn't in the script. Seeing event. Stop complaining, this is more fun with a smile. If we are going to do things we will do them right, now, stop messing around or I will lower your salary. Event. You don't even pay me. Indignant. Well, if I'm going to pay you, I'll lower your salary. Do you want to take the risk? Event. You take the fun out of life so we can now return to normal production. Issei. Laughs and then puts on a serious face. I discovered the way to eliminate you, I will show you. Buu. Not understanding. The great aura and power was expelled from Issei as blue rays surrounded him to change the scene and see Bikuo and Vali who were flying at high speed. Bikuo. Hey Vali, what is Haidu up to? Has he found a new technique? If we don't help him, Majin Buu will surely kill him. Seeing Vali, who was seriously carrying Issei and Kiba's son. Off screen. Sona. So the demon is called Majin Buu, writing in a notebook that no one knows where it came from. Saji. One is Issei's son, but who is the child being carried by Vali? With doubt. The other boy is Kiba and Tsubaki's son, making Kiba smile and Tsubaki blush. On screen. Ali. Haidu is very proud, and this is the first time in his life that he is fighting for others, with that he has earned my respect, flying faster away from the area. The scene changes again and focuses on Issei's face, which looked at Majin Buu with a confident smile, and the aura takes the form of a dome around Issei, beginning to destroy rocks around him. Buu gives a smile and says, no, face it, you're a weakling, I'll turn you into a chocolate, not a cheese cookie, to eat you with a smile. Off screen. Sweets. Was the thought of several in the room, unable to believe that a demon could turn people into sweets, but they said nothing and continued watching the screen. On screen. Issei laughs a little and then speaks, the way to defeat you is to turn you into dust so that you can never rebuild yourself again. Buu is surprised and starts looking at his hands without understanding what was happening to see Issei. Issei. Goodbye Kalawaran, goodbye Luzbel and also Kiba, he thought to smile and see Buu. Buu could only look at him in disbelief at what that half-fallen man was about to do. Issei. He could only clench his fists and scream grrrr as the camera zoomed out. A huge explosion was present due to all the energy accumulated by Issei exploding. Buu screamed as he turned to ashes until he disappeared, just like Issei, who continued screaming while Bikuo and Vali watched a huge explosion. Bikuo. Hi Hayadu, he shouted while staring at the explosion. Bali was shocked and could only close his eyes to cover himself from the glare. The great blow was seen in the distance, where the figure of a man disappeared. This man was Issei, the son of a cadre. Screen turns off. The females were shedding tears or ultimately crying because of what happened, while the men without exception now felt respect for the sacrifice that the fallen human hybrid made. Vegeta. People were recovering after seeing Issei's sacrifice, although some respected him they also thought that he should stop him since thanks to Issei that demon was released. Well, now that some of us have recovered, we will continue with a special topic looking at those present. Ria's special? She asked curiously looking at me. Yes, the union of Issei and Kiba, I said simply. Women would blush and smile as they thought it was referring to a romantic relationship. No, it doesn't mean that they become boyfriends, making the women depressed and upset, and Tsubaki and Kiba sigh in relief. Okay, now let's start with this shit. On screen. Kiba. Hey Issei, I think it's time to make the most epic rap in history. Issei. I'm not going to lower myself to rap with a low-class devil like you, Kiba. Kiba. Haha, come on, don't be bitter, I bet I have a lot more style than you. Issei. You'll see who the prince of rap is, damn insect. Will Smith. When all is lost and everyone gives up, when the enemy has been a bastard monster, I will give him his punishment, and it's that they only make me laugh, because with a beating I will tear to pieces his crude smile. Off screen. Ria's. Boo, but what happened? Kiba and Issei joined forces. She asked surprised. That's what I meant, a fusion created by the Patara clays, I said with a calm smile looking at Ria's. Sona. And is it permanent? Curious. In gods it is permanent, worrying Ria's, Sona and Tsubaki, but in mortals, it only lasts from 30 minutes to an hour, calming those mentioned. Hineko. Have any of us used by that method? Asked a curious Nekomata. Yes, a person created a fusion between Ria's and Akeno to show an image. I present to you, I said, but you wouldn't understand what I said, the fusion of Ria's and Akeno, so you'll be surprised to see the fusion Akeno. Well, catching Ria's attention, we don't look bad, do we, Ria's? Not at all, we look good with a smile. Let's keep watching. On screen. You really want to beat me? Are you going to stop me? You're so weak that you only make me sick. I'm the strongest warrior in the universe. You'll soon understand how useless your effort will be. Off screen. Surziches. He is so proud, funny. Sure, in that fusion I think the predominant personality is Issei, so you can get an idea funny, but he has the power to back up that attitude. Some people found what was said funny, although Ria's had a thought that was off topic. Ria's. Will Issei-kun forgive me? She thought with doubt and worry. The surprise you will get, Ria's Gremory, I thought when I heard what she thinks. Tsubaki. Wait, if that fusion has Kiba-kun and Hayadu-san, does that make Hayadu-san my boyfriend too? I ask with doubt. Kiba. What a good question, honey, also thinking. Riser. I thought you would get angry, Kiba slightly surprised. Kiba. Not at all, my friend, it's an understandable doubt, besides I know that Tsubaki loves me, so I don't have to worry, giving Tsubaki a quick kiss on the lips. I love you, Tsubaki. Tsubaki. I love you too, my prince, kissing him again. Damn, too much love for my current self, I thought watching the scene. On screen. Why, you can never stop me, there is not a single rival that is capable of fighting at my level, not even Leviathan, Majin Buu or Samel, I will burn them with my power like paper dolls. Off screen. Tsubaki. What is one of your skills? I asked curiously. I would say that it can create a sacred demonic sort of light, I said calmly, which is one of the signature movements of that fusion with a smile. Honestly, Vegeto is my favorite fusion over Gotenks and Gogeta. Akeno. Ria, so the aforementioned can't see it, would you like to try that fusion? I asked looking into her eyes. Ria's. Come on, it would be interesting, let's do it, with a smile, so that a clay appeared in her hand just like in Akeno's. Just put a clay on the ear opposite the other and they will fuse, I said watching the scene with excitement. Ria's placed a clay on her left ear and Akeno on her right ear so that the clays began to shine and the two women collided their bodies until they became a kind of mass, and seconds later a new being emerged before everyone's eyes. Erekiel. Who are you? Are you Gremory or my daughter? Seriously. I'm not Ria's and I'm not Akeno either, I'm Ryakeno, said the new fusion. Surziches. This is interesting to say the least, he said surprised but with a smile. Ryakeno. Ani-sama said happily to hug Surziches. Ria's will never say it, but she is happy and grateful to have you, Zeoticus and Venelana as her family. She understands that what she did was clearly wrong and she hopes that boy can forgive her, with a calm tone as she stops hugging Surziches. Erekiel. And Akeno. What does she think of me, he asked looking at the fusion. Ryakeno. She doesn't hate you, Barakiel, for the aforementioned to smile, but she still can't forgive you for what happened in the past, for Barakiel to nod. On screen. L. Your will is dead, at least make me have fun. I know I'm so powerful that my Kai baffles you, unmatched I break the barriers of what is written, unsurpassed warrior just call me Issei. B. I am the fusion of the strongest. Hey, today I have come to kill you, breaking the barriers of all that is written, unbeatable warrior just call me Issei. I am the fusion of the strongest. Hey, today I have come to kill you, breaking the barriers of all that is written, unbeatable warrior just call me Issei. Off screen. Ryakeno. Issei mommy likes the sound of it while licking her lips. B. And as you could see in Ryakeno, Akeno's personality predominates. Ryakeno just smiled at what I said and continued watching the screen. On screen. Issei. Remember my name, it's normal that you feel tense, you will never reach this intense power. Kiba and Issei now they have formed a new being, and nothing that anyone does will make him back down. Issei. If I turn into candy, I'm even more agile, if you manage to hit me it's just out of courtesy, the strength gained from the Pathala earrings, plus the bonus we receive from the supernatural rivalry. Off screen. Michael. Supernatural rivalry? I ask curiously. V. The fusion gets a plus if the members have a rivalry, in the case of Issei it is to see who is stronger and better, but Ryakeno does not have that rivalry, I said, looking at Michael who nodded. Tsubaki. Would Rias have any rivalry? Asked looking at me. V. Yes, I would have it with Sona and vice versa, so that the aforementioned can't see me, although neither Sona or Rias admitted. Rias has a kind of envy towards Sona for the intelligence that Sona possesses, and Sona is also envious of Rias for Rias' body, I finished saying. Ryakeno. That's true, Rias is envious of Citri-sen's intelligence, affirmed the fusion. On screen. Issei. I wonder what it must feel like to face me, the speed of lightning with the force of a missile, every blow impacts the enemy, crushes sword birth, dragon shot and devastates you. Off screen. Azazel. It's impressive, at least how he uses Kiba and Issei's abilities while caressing his chin. Murayama. I want to fight him, while Caddis nodded in agreement with her friend as they both created spears of light. Caddis. Although I also want to beat up those perverts who always spied on us in the bathroom, with a sadistic smile. Motohama and Mitsuda were trembling with fear at what they heard. B. You are free to do so, for Murayama and Caddis to launch themselves against the perverted duo. On screen. Issei. Every punch shatters the enemy, against a limited power like yours I never tire, we are what is necessary. To avoid destruction, we will fight together to find the solution. B. I am the fusion of the strongest. Hey, today I have come to kill you, breaking the barriers of all that is written, unbeatable warrior just call me Issei. I am the fusion of the strongest. Hey, today I have come to kill you. Breaking the barriers of all that is written, unbeatable warrior just call me Issei. Off screen. The infants like Milikas and Kunu hummed the rhythm under the gaze of Yasaka, Surziches and Grafia, who smiled as they saw their children somehow admire the fusion between the Gremory horse and the fallen one. Surziches approaches his son and says, you want an autograph from him, right? To which Milikas nods. Milikas. Yes, I would like to have the autograph of someone as cool and strong as him, he smiled with emotion. B. I see Surziches looking at me and I nod without saying anything. Kunu. Okasama, can I have your autograph too? She asked looking at her mother. Isaka. Of course my girl, you will have her autograph, stroking her daughter's head. On screen. L. His strength is unmatched, they will not be able to stop him, because he does not even try when he should fight, his will and confidence combined with his courage is the trident that causes fear in villains, there is not a single rival that can face him, because the flow of his power is infinite. Issei. Unsurpassed warrior just call me Issei. Screen turns off. B. Okay, time to bring someone to snap my fingers and Issei would appear. Issei. Oh. Where am I? Looking around for Kunu and Milikas to approach quickly. Milikas. Kunu. Can we have your autograph, they exclaimed excitedly. Issei. They are cute kids, with pleasure, so that both infants gave him a notebook, and Issei wrote in those notebooks and gave them to both infants. Ryakeno. Issei, I think Rias and Issei need to talk alone, said the fusion looking at the aforementioned. Issei. Yes, you are right, so that Ryakeno and Issei could remove a clay and undo the fusions. Issei and Rias stared at each other and then both disappeared from the audience. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.